this kind of cognitive dissonance where I'm learning, and I'm acquiring a lot of tremendous information, and I know what to do. The problem just is I don't always do it. It's the nature of our lives. So that's what it means also that I'm learning, but I'm not learning aliba the hilchasa, right? I'm not learning halacha l'maisa because my learning is my learning, but it's not translating into the way that I'm incredible. Going over, he died once he forgot his Torah. We almost the most Rovi Valtu Yishna. The Vashar and it's Tara. Vashar Doi contracted Saras. Shneemar. It's based on Persona and not. Siv Hassam, but Sisus. But Argumina Lechalutin. Okay. Ain't being muscular muflat. Again, there's no distinction between a Masora muskar and muflat. Muskar means
Dude, did the other part. You got like 6 more parts of the song. Really?
Isolation. Using isolation, waiting to see where muflat is a confirmed Masora. Prima allowing to grow and this clothing to be torn. There are 3 destructive angels who were summoned to Doeg. What did they do? One malach caused Doeg to forget
Memphis, and I pumped a lot of tame down. Dude, do that thing.
And one scattered the ashes in shuls and batei medrash. Incredible.
Rolling down the river. You're too slow on things. Rolling on the river, cleaned a lot of plates in Memphis, and I pumped a lot of tame down in New Orleans. And I never saw the good side of the city until I hitched a ride on a riverboat. We know the big wheel keep on turning, and the proud berry keep on burning, and we rolling on the river, and we're rolling on the river.
So the mark goes like that.
Left a good job in the city, working for a man every night and day. None of them lost a minute of sleep when they worried about the way that things might have been. Big wheel keep on turning, dirty round, baby keep on burning. Rolling on the river. Rolling on the river. Okay, you can't do it. Why? Because it's just...
Says this goes back to yesterday's stuff as well. Everybody supports this. Do not live out up to half of their days. Everybody supports this. Remember, remember again, the min asked Rabbi Hanuna, right? Rabbi Hanuna, how old was Bilam when he died? And he said, I don't know, but he quoted this exact pasuk, right? Where the pasuk says, "Anchi don't remember lo yachitzu yimeim." Literally, again, people distill blood. People are deceitful. Lo yachitzu yimeim will not live to half of their lifespan. So again, I will say we operate with the understanding that our lifespan is 70 years. So if Chazal say that if Rosh is not living up to have a lifespan, that means he's not living to 35. Elosh Loshim Ba'arba Shal Achitofel Einon Elosh Loshim Shalosh. Goy lived to 34, Achitofel lived to 33. Rabbi Yochanan, listen, by the way, I just want to point out something amazing. Just especially when you look
and pumped a lot of tame down in New Orleans. Never thought to run until I hit the rock on a riverboat.
These were people who were capable of such overwhelming.
No, this doesn't do it right.
Look the amount of Torah they amassed.
Got that thing that sucks.
Yet these debilitating life failures. Overwhelming. In the beginning, David called Achitofel was ready. Then he called him his friend. And then he called me a student. In other words, Achitophel's stature was downgraded over time. It's Gila Karabal, the Ata Enosh, Karaka, Lufemi, Umi, Yogai, Masov Karoka, the Holy Family, Shayachtov, Nantikso, together. We'll go ahead and explore the cities with this.
We rolling,
Get ready for this Gemara. This is absolutely
let's see it again.
Amazing.
See if it's
Sorry,
good.
this was my little teaser in the chat yesterday.
Every now and then I think you might like to hear something from us. Nice.
A person
easy.
should never bring themselves.
But it's just one thing, you see, we never ever do nothing nice and easy. We always do it nice and rough. My favorite song.
David Melech willingly put himself into a situation of being tested, to resolve, and he failed. What's the story? Here we go. Amr from the V'Hol Shalom. Name Ma Omrim. Elokei Avram. Elokei Yitzchak. Elokei Yaakov. Ve'ein Omrim Elokei.
You left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. And I never lost 1 minute of sleep, but I was worried about the way that things might have been. You know the big wheel keep on turning. When I'm proud, Mary keep on burning, and we're rolling. I love that song. Really? Yeah, but you gotta get a print to
with those people. Attaches his name to Avram. So how do I get to the level where you will attach your name to me? How does that happen? So David says, well, it's very simple.
This one's so much easier.
They were tested by him. Each of them were tested. He succeeded. So when he gets to the tested, all of these testing challenges.
Did a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. And I never lost 1 minute of sleep, and I was worried about the way that things might have been. The big wheel keep on turning. Boiling. It's burning. Why are you saying
test me? Omar says
big
it's
wheel keep
very
on
important to understand.
turning?
Did not give David his test. David asked for
Big wheel keep on turning. Huh? It is turning. He just said it incorrectly. John Foger, get your song correct, dog.
And I did not give to Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. How so? So again, Hashem says,
did a good job in the city and day, and I never lost 1 minute of it. Big wheel keep on burning. The proud Mary keep on burning, rolling on a river. And clean a lot of tapes in Memphis, pumped a lot of tape down in New Orleans, and I never saw the good side of the city till I hitched a ride on a riverboat queen. Big wheels keep on turning, I'll never keep on burning, rolling, rolling, rolling on the river.
It doesn't make sense, right? Why doesn't it make sense? Why is David getting up at night? Right after again, you go to sleep at night. Why sleeping up at night? So what's this festival? Rabbi Yehuda, shehapach mishkavo shalayim lemishkavo shayom. Literally, again, he switched around his schedule, right? His bed schedule from night to day. Rashi points out, what did David HaMelech do? David HaMelech had relations with his wife that day, during the day. Why? Because now David HaMelech is forewarned. He says, I'm going to be tested with a matter of immorality. So what does he do? He has relations with his wife, hoping that'll satisfy that desire, and therefore, again, he won't be tempted by anything else. Okay, good plan. In his Alma Mena Halacha, it's wild. And he forgot the halacha. What's the halacha say? Iver katan ish ba'adam. There's a small part of man's body, right? A reference ultimately again to the makom milah. Small part of man's body. The Gemara says to this. Rolling. If you satiate it, rolling on the river. Omar ivo sadaya. But if you starve it, it becomes satiated. What does that mean? I will say this is incredible. So the way it works with this desire for sexuality is if you come down to the river, bet you're gonna find some people who live. You don't have to worry, no, you have no money. The people on the river happy to give. Big wheel keep on turning. Proud Mary keep on boiling. Rolling on the river. Just because of gluttonous type of life approach, where you just want more and more and more and more. And even if it's permitted gluttony as a rolling on the river. Curb appetites in the right way. That's why again, we know that in Yiddishkeit.
It was tight, was it? I mean, I've done tighter shit. Like what? Streaming life 24/7 for 365 for fucking years. Really?
There's a frequency that has to
and now fucking Baked Alaska knows about me. Maybe that motherfucker's from Australia.
By the way, the crazy part is, even if the overindulgence is done in a permitted
Baked
way,
Alaska.
Right? They're talking about this.
No one fucking knows. Ice cream, softened, and needed. Is that the thing with fucking?
So interestingly enough, this was fascinating.
Baked Alaska
tries to curb the appetite.
There's some disgusting things.
To feel that the way that he
That's
did it
cool.
represented
Baked,
a sense of overindulgence, so it backfired.
The dessert dish baked.
And so not only did it not curb the appetite, but what? It enhanced it. Overwhelming.
Yo, what's that disgusting dessert with like
he's on the rooftop.
Salmon and ice cream? Is it Baked Alaska or something?
Right, walking on the rooftop.
It's something.
He sees a woman bathing on the rooftop next to
Salmon
the
de
palace.
leche custard ice cream.
She was a beautiful woman.
Salmon scraps? That sounds disgusting. Baked Alaska is something different.
So what does this mean? First of all,
Alright, cool. Who is this motherfucker as a streamer? I've heard of him. Really? Yeah, I made a fucking thing for him. Baked Alaska.
That doesn't make any sense.
Wiki this motherfucker,
She was washing her hair.
He's a streamer.
Like a curtain.
Rashi Australia, then I know I'm funnier than you are. Really? Are you funnier than everybody in Australia? For sure. I'm funnier than everybody on Earth, but definitely Australia.
So ultimately, again, what happens? The Satan appeared like a bird.
Oh, tight. All right in white supremacy. All right, well, that's cool. Really? No, come on, dog.
Bow and arrow, and he shot at the bird. What happened?
He was found guilty of damaging a Hanukkah display at the Arizona Capitol.
But he hears the curtain. As a result, Igla v'chazye. He saw Batsheva bathing. So the Gemara
he was
says,
granted a presidential pardon. This motherfucker got a presidential pardon.
There's so many crazy things about this story. First of all, say what's
he likes
about
me?
the story? Why is David shooting arrows at birds? Like as a kid, like he also took like a magnifying glass to ink the ants.
Great. Well, I got that guy going.
What is that? First of all, Jews don't even do that, right? Not to be Yehuda, right? Jews hunt for food. Jews don't hunt for sport. You don't shoot arrows at birds. That's what I'm saying. See, listen. You know what the most incredible thing is? I know this is very important. So listen. The Ribono Shel Olam knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing, and so he knows where to give a test, and he knows where not to give a test, and he knows what we can handle, and he knows what we're not yet ready to handle. There are so many crazy parts about this story and every single part has an unintended negative consequence. So David HaMelech seeks to satiate that sexual appetite in a permitted way by being with his wife during the day. The problem is that was maybe a little bit of overindulgence and therefore backfired. He's spaziering on the rooftop. I want to point out to you, David HaMelech, Mesachas Brachos, David HaMelech wasted absolutely no time. Wasted no time.
Until I hit your ride on a riverboat.
So,
dude, tennis chicks or something.
What's happening over here? He's just
really?
like strolling.
Oh, for sure.
David HaMelech is not a stroller. That didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? He's not the guy who just like walks around. That's not. There's so many things about it. And now shooting an arrow at a bird. Who does that? What's going on over here? So again, we'll see everything for see. So he sees Bathsheba. Obviously, tremendously aroused by Bathsheba. Vayishnak David Vayidrash Leisha Vayomer Halo Zos Bathsheba Bas Eliam Eishes Uriah. This is Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah. Vayishnak David Malachim Veikachel. David HaMelech sent for her, had her brought to the palace. Tavo Elav Vayishkas Ima V'Himis Kadeshes V'Timal Ishes Al Beisha. He has relations with her. Right, he sleeps with her. Ultimately, again,
I don't know.
What's interesting is the Gemara says she wasn't a Nida.
Really?
She wasn't a Nida.
I just made the movement. But if it's fucking Bob C.
Zamos again. So David HaMelech says, literally, you checked my heart, right? You checked my heart, and ultimately, again, you are unable to find purity. Zamosi Avarpi. David HaMelech says,
dude, do wings.
When I had this conversation with HaKadosh Baruch Hu,
you know that you love this fucking song. Really? I used to blast this fucking song in multiple locations. Some girl out there, really? Maybe I'm amazed at the way I love me all the time. Hey, I love you. Down the line, you hug me on the line. Maybe I'm amazed at the way I really need you.
Most decisions we make in life.
Maybe I'm a man, maybe I'm a lonely man who's in the middle of something that he doesn't really understand.
Dramatically different. That night was one of those.
Maybe I'm the man, maybe you're the only woman who could ever have me. Maybe you have me understand.
Life forever changes after that fateful night. Before we go on, but you have to also understand what
can you do this song? Yeah, I can do it pretty well. Not like
put yourself in complicated and
really?
Situations.
Oh, dog. You need me to do Paul
We
McCartney?
put ourselves in circumstances that I know
At one time was my favorite Beatle.
correct.
Really, what happened?
Whether it's being around
They're all
people
my favorite, dog.
I know have a
Really?
negative effect.
I like
Right?
all
Whether
the
it's
Beatles, and
engaging
if you
in
don't, that's
activities
cool. But
that
what
I
else?
know are not really good for my neshama. Maybe they're not overtly sinful, but I know they're not good. But I convince myself it's okay. It won't have an effect on me. And that's true until it does. It does. And then I'm like shocked. I can't believe, why am I shocked? Why am I shocked? It's like so much of life, right? So much of life is preventative spiritual medicine. Right? It's not being
Baby, I'm amazed at the way you love me all the time. That was cool.
And not allowing myself to
Really?
thrust into the.
Oh, that was tight.
A lot of times I can't choose it. But a lot of times I willingly put myself in compromised situations, thinking A, that I'll overcome it, and B, that it won't affect me. And then I succumb to it, and then it impacts me, and then I'm shocked. Why am I shocked? Why am I shocked? So much of life is being lost and like being able to see.
Maybe I'm amazed at the way you love me. I'm afraid of the way I love you.
Of Avoid it at all costs. Don't put yourself.
Maybe I'm amazed at the way you hung me on the line. You hung me on the line. Maybe I'm afraid of the way I really lead you. Maybe I'm a man, maybe you're a lonely man who's in the middle of something that he doesn't really understand. Maybe I'm a man, maybe you're the only woman who could ever help me. Maybe won't you help me understand?
Forgive me for this sin. Shalom, shalom, say that the harsha the mountain was moved by a bird.
That was sick. Was it? Sickest shit of all time?
I could have done it. So I did my Ella Amuna, the Lamru, but I didn't want to say that the servant bested the master. So say, if I could have overcome it, I would have, but then it would have made you look like God, right? Because you didn't give me the test, you didn't think I could pass it, and then I would have bested you. Listen, what does this mean? What does this mean? So obviously a little bit tongue in cheek, but David HaMelech is recognized. I'm going to say something amazing. The great part about David HaMelech, and the reason why David HaMelech becomes like the consummate of how we know about Shiva, is David HaMelech owned it. What does he acknowledge in this moment? That night on the rooftop, if I wanted to resist the temptation,
maybe I'm a man, maybe you're the only man who's in the middle of something that he doesn't really understand.
And it was strong, it was absolutely strong, but at the end of the day,
maybe I'm a man, maybe you're the only woman who could ever help me. Maybe don't you help me understand? Maybe I'm amazed at the way you with me all the time. Maybe I'm afraid of the way I need you.
I could have said, as much as I was overwhelmed by desire,
maybe I'm amazed at the way you help me sing my song. Right me when I'm wrong. Maybe I'm afraid of the way I really need you.
Says ultimately again, we are meant for each other from the beginning of time. We're meant for each other.
I don't think I did it correctly.
From the beginning of time, but rather what happened?
Really?
The relationship began before it was
That's
ripe.
okay.
It was like eating unripened fruit.
You'll get it.
By the way, I just want to point out, how do you know that David and Bathsheba were meant for each other?
Yeah, man.
How do you know that this union was ultimately blessed by God? How do you know it? Shlomo, right? Their son was Shlomo. Their first child dies. That was part of the punishment of David for David and Bathsheba, for David. Right? Ultimately, again, their son was Shlomo.
Well, you did do it right.
God himself named
That's
Shlomo.
Really? Yeah, whatever. Shit happens.
That's how we know.
I'm moving with your beach buddy. Let me say one time.
Tear it and there is no blood. So David says, you know, if they were to tear my flesh, so he wants to know how you done your shoulders. I would not do it. David says, I've been sent over this sin of Bathsheba. So we're going to talk about this. I've been sent humiliated from the sin of Bathsheba.
Dude, this song is so long.
If you prick me, I will not do it. Right? In other words, that even if they were to cut me, I don't know, humiliation is kind of like the draining of blood. Ella, this is wild. This is wild. Hello, Ella, the Shashin, Oskin, the Artemis of David. David says, when I'm in the Spanish, right? And they're learning about the halachos concerning David's of death penalties. So they turn to Hoskin the Mishnah said, David, Haba Ish is Ish, Misaso B'na. What's this? You have to understand something. The sin of Bathsheba became public knowledge. David HaMelech was humiliated, and David HaMelech was taunted. He was taunted. So literally again, we'll be in the base medrash, and coming to the base medrash, they come up and say, "Oh, David, by the way, what is that? What is the punishment for someone who commits adultery? Right? What's the punishment for that?" Amarti Lohem, Haba Ish is Ish Misasa B'Chenek, V'Yesh Lachem Olam Haba. The punishment for one who commits adultery is Chenek, strangulation. He has a portion of the world to cover. But just know, when someone who embarrasses his friend has no feeling in the world. So let's say, this is what David. So again, I want to just point out, in addition to all the external enemies, like all of the wars, all the hostile neighbors that the Eretz Yisrael had, David HaMelech is taunted and humiliated and degraded within his own kingdom. This was the fall from the episode of Bathsheba. I feel b'shas chayosh David kiyem shmona esrei onos. So this is very interesting. Even now, we're going to see, by the way, there were three different punishments that David received for the sin of Bathsheba. Really four: the loss of their child,
just remember,
loss of their child, illness.
You put yourself on the phone. Oh, look at that! Remember when you spiked your phone? Everybody remember? Oh, it does. Hey, sight. He went ahead and fish eye.
He maintained
motherfucker's got that fish eye.
His conjugal obligations to
all of his wives. Really? Can you do this? Thanks, bro. Really?
So this is quite fascinating. What is this? First of all, by the way, was fascinating is how the Gemara goes ahead and dashes this possible.
Remember when everybody was like, "Hey, you think you can do it?" And you're like, "Yeah."
So literally, again, I soiled my bed. The Gemara's understanding what we call reference to relations. My obligation to have relations with God. What is it? Part of the fallout of the episode had other wives.
It's so true, and I owe it all to you. And the time of my life, no, I owe it all to you.
Things that happen in the marriage that cause irreparable damage, and other times that things in the marriage that happen that cause a tremendous rift. And it's upon the perpetrator of the negative act to like go ahead and take care of
someone to stand by me.
So that enough understands. I did a lot of stuff.
They did on the wall. Let me imagine that it's called fantasy. Really mention in our eyes. When your baby just decides to me. So we take each other's hand. Then we stand in the hands that you can see. Just remember, you're the one thing I just can't get enough of. So I'm telling you something. This could be love because I was just about to do it, girls. Really? Oh, for sure. Why? Why not?
Worships idolatry. Let's get ready for this. Melech Shekamosi Yargenu Beno Mutav Yabod Avodazar by his fellowship. Okay, so what's this? Now we're jumping. Part of the fallout, part of the punishment for the sin of Bathsheba is Hashem told David there's going to be a rebellion in your home.
This could be wrong because I've had the time of my life. I never felt this way before. Yes, I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you. Yeah. Body and soul, I want you more than I'll ever know.
if people understand, oh,
they tell you so. To lose control.
he was concerned that if he lost trust and he
You
was
can tell no mind.
instead he
You can
decided
say,
that he worshipped
stay with me tonight.
to the fact that I switched over to idolatry. And therefore,
You're the one thing I can't get enough of. I'll tell you something. This could be love because I've had the time of my life and I never felt this way before. Yes, I swear it's the truth and I owe it all to you. Oh, that was sick. I think it did it the wrong time. That was tight. It's something like that. Really? Have you ever seen that movie? Maybe like 1,000,000,000,000 years ago. Why? I don't know. Because it was like, it's like an old movie. It's when that bitch had her old nose. Really? Everybody remembers. That bitch got her nose, and then Jennifer Grey. Jennifer Grey. I'm going to tell you this right now. I would fuck you pre-nose or post-nose, but that was a very famous nose job. It's kind of one of the, like, everybody always said that Barbara Streisand needed a nose job, which, you know, perhaps she may have, perhaps she didn't, but she didn't, and she never had that Jennifer Grey moment. Let's just be honest. Hey, calm down, woman. Calm down. Deviated septum. Anyway, really? Maybe multiple. Who knows, baby? Who knows? No jokes. But I'm just letting everybody out there know. If you ever see this, Barbara Streisand can get it, Jennifer Grey can get it, and a bunch of other bitches can get it.
He could be compared to a kusi merchant. Rashi points out.
What about the lesbian from South Australia? The lesbian can get it. The bisexual can get it. The polyamorous bitch can get it. Even the beat poet.
And they could increase the price a little bit each time. So they make more money.
Oh, the beat poet can get it? Fuck yeah, the beat poet can get it. She won her fucking heat.
We're going to see the way it works like this. Dana asks for forgiveness.
Oh, fuck.
Like a little bit at a time. So the first thing he says,
this could be love because I've had the time of my life. I never felt this way before. Yes, I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you. Yeah, baby. Your body and soul want you more than you ever know.
Forgiven.
To lose control. You can say, stay with me tonight. Remember, you're the one thing I can't get enough of. So I'll tell you something. This could be love because I had the time of my life. Though I never felt this way before. Yes, I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you. I had the time of my life, and I never have another love. Yes, I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you. I had the time of my life, and I never felt this way before. Never did I swear it's the truth. And I need all to you, don't I had the time of my life. When I never loving for. Just I swear it's the truth. And I owe it all to you. That was tight. Everybody knows that was tight. Really? Was it the tightest shit of all time? Dog. Have you ever? I don't want to talk about college football. What's tight about college football? Dog. Everything? What? What's the greatest football? What is the greatest college football team of all time? If you had such a fucking stupid question, you deserve a fucking stupid answer. Well, who is it? Alabama? Hey, go fuck yourself. Alabama is a pimple on the ass of this fucking team during the 20th century. Don't you understand that? Well, what about since then? Dog, we don't even count that. It's not even the same sport. Is it? Dog, they changed the sport. When? Well, sometime around November 14th, 1993. What about November 13th? Nope, that was real football. Everything after that sucks. Why? That was the last great day of America. Actually, November 13th, 1993 was. Why? It was the last day of America. Everything since then has sucked. Why? It's just the worst. What happened then? Look, you stupid dumbass. If you don't know what the fuck happened then, you need a fucking wake-up call. What happened November 13th, 1993? What the fuck do you think happened November 13th, 1993, motherfucker?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, about 11 lines up from before it gets wide. So remember again, we're speaking about the end of yesterday's down. There's this fascinating about how Ducky was going to the first Israel.
Oh, I liked how it didn't fucking work. Oh, that was tight. Oh, I liked how it didn't work. Really? Oh, that was the best. Zuckerberg, you like that? You like when I'm going ba 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 and the song's going Stupid dumbass, this fucking program. It's the worst. Hey Zuckerberg. Hey, how about you quit reading your daughter's nighttime stories? And how about you start fixing your fucking app? How about that? Okay? Priscilla can take over a few nights a week so that you get this shit to work. It's the worst.
Just a few moments. Just a few, really, I should say, just a moment. Just a moment. A singular moment.
Can you do Islands in the Stream? Fuck yeah, I can do Islands in the Stream. I just need a bitch with whom to sing it. Well, can you just do it on your own, bitch? Does a snake drag ass? Does a bear shit in the woods? A bear shit in the woods? A bear shit in the woods? Baby, when I met you, there was peace unknown. Got you with a fine-tooth comb. I was somewhere inside. There was something going on. You do something to me that I can't explain. Hold me closer and I feel no pain. Every beat in my heart, they got something going on. And your mother's mind, it requires some dedication. Now we've had no conversation, divided each other at home, making love with each other. Artists in the street, that is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong? Sail away with me to another world, and we can rely on each other. From one number to another. Oh, that was tight. When you were Dolly Parton? Yeah. You know how cool Dolly Parton is? How cool is Dolly Parton? Dude, that bitch. She's got a really good public relations team. Really? Yeah. And gigantic hands. Let's just be honest. That woman.
I'm done with this guy. So what are you doing?
Is this shit gonna crash? Who would you rather do? Dolly Parton now,
you are tapping into that moment of divine wrath. Hey, if you're done with this guy, then listen, I just want to point out,
or
obviously the fact that Rabbi Yeshua maybe is going to this lens. There's two things happening over here. Number one, the guy is a min, right? So in other words, there's a theological issue, right? That's number one. Number two, obviously,
who's that bitch with the arms?
To a tremendous
from
amount,
Seinfeld?
To a tremendous amount of
The bitch who didn't move her arms?
And pain. Rabbi Yeshua maybe is willing to go to these lengths.
What's that bitch's name?
So I just want to point out again. We're only being told part of the story.
Not
but it's clear that there's much more that's happening over here. Okay.
What's her name? Dog, I think I'm in her fucking subreddit. What's her name?
When that moment came, so literally again, it's
fuck with the arms.
And therefore again,
she's in like
to curse the guy.
Rochelle or some shit.
What happens?
Really? What's the bitch with the arms?
You fell asleep.
Don't move my arms when I dance. Like I'm holding imaginary luggage. What's that bitch's name? Duh. I don't know. She had hairy armpits in 1965. I can tell you that. Okay, that bitch or Dolly Parton? Both. How about that? Dude, what the fuck? What's that bitch's name? Dog, nobody knows. Come on, you can get it.
Punishing someone.
She's Italian? Is she? There are two bitches that I confuse.
To go ahead and hurt each other. And even if the other deserves it, it's not.
Alright, Bridget Bardot, I don't confuse her, or Dolly Parton today. Bridget Bardot, I think she's alive 5 years ago. Who knows? I don't know. They're both like humanitarians and shit. Both. The answer is both. What's that other bitch's name?
I would say, and ultimately, again, even with a min, right? Even with someone who's a heretic, it's
what is that girl's name? Dude, what is it? What in the fuck's up, Bird? Your app is such dog shit.
Of the widest lines. Tell them about it. Tell them to shmei very near. So again, the Gemara says here, when the sun rises and the kings, the sun worshippers,
what's that bitch's name?
Go ahead and put their crowns on
there's
their
like
head
a C in it.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu gets upset.
Really?
What does that mean? Talk about God getting upset. So when does God get upset? When HaKadosh Baruch Hu goes ahead and sees his creations have forgotten about him and instead serve other creations, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gets upset. Okay, so let's say back to Bilal.
Dog, what's that bitch's name?
And he went ahead and he sat on his donkey. Okay. So
but what is that girl's name?
Now, what's bothering more about the pasuk over here? Bilam is a chashuv guy. He's important. If he's important, then what should he not be doing?
Oh,
he shouldn't be selling his own.
Last name's with an L.
You have a guy for that, right? You reach a certain level. So why you hit that
last name with an L.
He's the one who's selling his donkey. So the Gemara says,
her name is like, oh, no.
Things that disrupt.
What is that bitch's name?
One of them is love. Love, right? They say, what is it? Love makes you do crazy things. Love disrupts the natural order of human behavior. Where do we know this from? So the Gemara says, Avram B'tziv, Vayashkim Avram Baboker. Avram in the morning,
Right?
got up, and Avram also saddled his donkey. Avram has a guy, right? Avram has multiple guys.
Jennifer
so
Lopez? No. It's like
because remember, it says on the way to he's consumed with love for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to serve the Ribono Shel Olam. And love makes you do crazy things. Love disrupts the natural order of things. Okay. Furthermore, what else disrupts the natural order of things? Sinner. Shura Shal Gidula.
No. Are you sure? No.
Hatred also disrupts the natural order of things.
What is that bitch's name?
Ultimately, again, Bilam got up in the morning and he saddled his own donkey. So I say it's interesting what's coming down there between love and hate. Like they're extreme emotions. So what do you see from here? Extreme emotional situations sometimes make us do unrational things. It's fascinatingly enough over here, the irrationality for Avram was beautiful because he was saddling his own donkey, consumed by his love for Hashem.
The bitch with the arms. She's carrying invisible luggage. Raquel Welch. That's a different girl than the other girl. Raquel Welch is a different girl. But that's a good question. Would you rather take Raquel Welch or Dolly Parton right now? Both. All right. Raquel Welch is different. Who's the other girl?
And that's Pachad Mekalkelas Ashura. Fear is also a very strong emotion.
I always get Raquel Welch and this other bitch confused. This one's from Italy. I don't know where Raquel Welch is from, but she can get it.
Sometimes we are so scared of failure. So scared of
Lauren? Sophia Loren. Sophia Loren. Fuck yeah. All right, now this is the question. Raquel Welch or Sophia Loren? That's a great question. That's one of the game-changing questions. That's like, who's your favorite Kenny? Rogers or Loggins?
So many of us kind of just settle for like mediocrity because we're afraid of what may occur if we push ourselves a little bit more. Incredible.
Dude, let's look at those bitches next to each other.
Sophia Loren. Where is it that, all seriousness, that we have the koach?
Have they ever been in the same room together? No one knows. That's the thing. That's the interesting thing about life. Kids never know.
For years. Some of us have even been doing this, for more than...
Sophia Loren and Raquel Welch have always...
It's important to understand it comes from
bitch.
Abraham Baboker.
Yo, this shit sucks.
Baboker is not rolling out of bed at a normal hour. Abraham Baboker is...
Who was hotter back in the day? They're both really, really hot.
Because when you love something, no matter how exhausted you are, right? If you think about it, if your child needs to get picked
they
up
look
at the
alike.
airport, right? So you're not saying to yourself, the flight comes in at 6 a.m. So I have to leave my house at 4:30. Not like,
who's hotter though?
Get a cup of coffee. I'm going to be there around 9.
Oh, that's a good question. It's a question they're going to be debating in the annals of history.
A lot of blank expressions. Oh, here, maybe we should do that. Take an Uber.
Where's Raquel Welch from?
When you love something, even though again it's falling on my face, it's not like you're any more rested because you love something. You're literally exhausted.
She's the bitch who doesn't know
I
who
push
it is.
myself because I love.
Oh, she died?
So where do we get that car? And I will say again, it's important to understand that what it is that we do is like a shtickle abnormal.
Where is she from?
Shtickle abnormal. But it'd be a little bit more.
No fucking way.
It'd be a little more rested to be whole people that are like seen double by 7 o'clock in the evening, right? It would be a little bit. So what's the shot?
Most underappreciated place for hot bitches. Is it? No.
Abraham was the first person to say,
Rock.
when you love it, the Ribono Shel Olam,
Really?
love his Torah, get up early. Get up early. Push yourself to do things that are a little bit abnormal. And I will say every single morning when we do it, just understand.
What's the most underrated place for hot bitches in the United States? East Lansing, Michigan. Really?
Love makes people do crazy things. Sometimes the negative, but for us as Yidden, always in a positive. Incredible.
What's the most overrated?
Person should always go into Torah and says Shalom L'Shema, even not for the right reasons.
Really?
Even
Right,
Shalom
weekend,
L'Shema,
maybe.
right? Why?
Right, that was a great story.
Because
I remember when you were singing Islands in the Stream, and then you just stopped? Dude, I got them both. Sophia Loren Ava, Raquel Welch, and Sophia Loren. So who would you take in like 2020? Who would you have fought? Both.
Over time, I'll come to do it for the right reason. Listen to this.
I wonder if they were ever in a thriller together.
Just unfollow the story.
Who's the guy?
So we need to take away that. Paul's a bad guy. Paul was a bad guy. But yet he offered up 42 karbanos to the Ribono Shalom. So it wasn't idolatry. He was the guy. Now he offered up 42 karbanos because he wasn't the guy that first plowed his off. But again, so he caught in the details, right? At the end of the day, he serves HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Gemara says, in his house, he serves Hashem. Not for the right reasons, but his granddaughter by the name of Rus. And his grandson by the name of...
Wow, that was really good. Was it? Maybe the sickest shit of all time. Really? Dog. This is the worst. Worst stream ever.
Mashiach comes from Balak, who did something holy for all the wrong reasons. He offered up 42 karbanos to all for the wrong reasons.
Do you really think people in Australia are not funny?
I'm not cursing Cloud Israel, but look how amazing it is. Sometimes the most beautiful results come.
I don't think people in the United Kingdom are that funny.
As long as those
really?
holy sources are laced with holiness.
Yeah.
Sometimes again,
who you have? Charlie Chaplin.
From the most unknown
Laurel.
But nevertheless, who takes our avoda, even if it's...
Have you ever known somebody funny from the United Kingdom?
Great things happen. Incredible.
Just average. Have you known anybody hot from there? Yeah. Yeah, kind of, sort of. I've been on dates with them. Been on dates with them.
Right, was the king of
really?
Moab,
Yeah.
Right? And Eglon was the great grandson of Balak.
Why didn't go any further?
So I'm going to Rabbi Marty. Said the Etev Elokim and Shem Shlomo.
I like hanging out with him.
So it's beautiful. So this is.
I'm kind of like too good for everybody. What do you want me to do about it, baby? Here we go.
God will make the name of Shlomo. Now, what it sounds like it's saying.
Hey, remember? Hey, Zuckerberg, remember when it was black? Remember you were too busy reading your daughter's fucking stories and shooting pigs on a fucking island in Hawaii that you couldn't get your fucking app to work properly?
It doesn't seem to be the greatest.
I went the wrong direction. I played field hockey, which is down instead of up, being almost 6 feet tall. It was a little backwards. The choice, it was.
Is that Ronda Rousey?
I found out after years of playing that it was a benefit.
Kylie
I
Cassie.
had a reach that people didn't anticipate.
No way.
My legs were strong and not just.
Who is this bitch?
So
Who is this bitch?
when I got to then view as positives that I had that were physical attributes.
That bitch looks like Ronda Rousey. Really? Yeah, I love Ronda, but whatever. Really? Yeah. Who's better, Amanda Nunes or Ronda Rousey? Ronda Rousey. Amanda, who would you take right now? Which one could beat you up? I could take both at the same time. Easy. Why? I make them laugh till they're fucking on the ground and pin them or whatever I have to do, tickle them to death. Anyway, not to death, but whatever until the guy jumps in the middle. All right. Who? Ronda Rousey made that sport bigger, but I think Amanda Nunes. Like, Ronda Rousey is the biggest female UFC fighter ever, but Amanda Nunes is probably the best. But I'm going to tell you this, Amanda Nunes, I could line up 10 UFC fighters in front of me, and I would never train. Ronda Rousey, I just thought that you were this bitch of the nation, so obviously I don't really know who you are that well either. Why the fuck is this camera shit not working? This is the worst. This shit sucks. Zuckerberg. Dude, hey, did I tell you about Max and the other bitch? And I read them fucking stories before bed? Did I tell you about that? Yeah, you did. And you told Joe Rogan about it. And then you couldn't name what kind of fucking bow you had. And you told us all that you like to shoot pigs on some fucking island in Maui. And guess what? Joe Rogan was worth the fucking shit. He would have said, hey, Mark, guess what? Did you know your app doesn't work? And Mark would be like, oh, do you know about the Wiggle last week? And he'd be like, oh, yeah. And he'd be like, oh, what the fuck? This shit sucks.
what every
It's the
parent
worst.
wants. I want my child to be better than me. I want them to be better than me. I want them.
I can't believe this is how companies want their shit to be used. Like, or just clear the cache. Huh? Like, if you say that to like anybody, I'm just gonna say like a middle-aged lady, but no, even like a 18-year-old dude, they'd be like, what? Why? Oh, well, because you have to clear the cache. Why? Why doesn't it do that automatically? Like, oh, well, well, it helps the app to run faster. No, just have the thing make it run faster. I don't think you need that. You don't think you need cache? Just work. How about that? You don't. You think that everything should just work? Dog. And I'm gonna make sure of it. Really? Dog. I have so much shit to do in this world. I've got to fucking do Kabbalah and Coffee, Daf Yomi and me. Oh, that's a cute name, like Mommy and me. Anyway, those are big classes. All right, so that's cool. Did you attend Mommy and Me? Motherfucker, Mommy and Me didn't exist when I was a kid. Mommy and Me consisted of try to dodge secondhand smoke. Okay, do you understand that? Your mom smoked? Fuck no. My mom has never smoked anything ever. Really? Nothing. Not even not cigarettes, not pot, nothing. Never. Really? Nothing. Would you bet your life on that? I would bet your life on it.
If you want to know how Bilam wanted to curse Klal Yisrael,
really?
Look how he blessed Klal Yisrael. In other words, from the blessings, you can see the
Are you sure?
How so?
I am more sure. Is that the thing you're most sure of in the entire life? Your mother never even tried a cigarette. Yes, she never tried.
No more shuls, don't worry about the medrash.
Really?
So the Gemara says, what did he say?
Never said. Never vape? No. My mom wouldn't even know what a fucking vape is. Really?
What he had, sorry, you can see from the blessing what he had in mind to curse. So he praises the tense of Klal Yisrael.
No weed? Fuck, not in a million fucking years. She's as straight laced as any motherfucker ever. Really? I mean, not like, she's not uncool, but just when it comes to smoking, none of that shit.
It shouldn't have any type of vineyards, right? The vineyards or groves. So the Gemara says,
no, this shit sucks. Hey, remember that time that you were talking and talking and talking and talking and talking, and you were supposed to be singing the second half of Highlands in the Stream by Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton? Yeah, and then you were talking about Raquel Welch versus Sophia Loren and some kind of really intense sex symbol competition. Yeah, I do remember that. Yo, dog, why do you always ask if like how hot a chick is 0 to 10? Well, I guess it's like, you know, it's like science. I rank all the chicks, and I mind it. Anybody who says anybody higher than an 8, that bitch kind of sticks out in my mind as out there beauty. Really? Yeah. How hot is Dolly Parton on that scale? 12. Okay, how about Dolly Parton? 12. You just said Dolly Parton. What about Sophia Loren? 12. What about
Isn't that incredible? There's never been a period of Jewish history without Yidden having
Raquel Welch. 12. Even with the arms? 12. Dude, I don't think this fucking thing's working.
Ultimately, again, so most of the curses at some point in time did come true. But the one where Bilam said, you'll never have Batei Nedrash, you'll never have.
Hey, Zuckerberg, instead of shooting pigs with the fucking rifle in Maui and forgetting the brand name of your bow and arrow, why don't you have your fucking app work? This is literally the worst app ever. Is it? It sucks. Why? Because I'm sitting here talking to you about how hot Sophia Loren was versus Raquel Welch, and somehow Dolly Parton I think Dolly Parton kicked it off. Anyway, this shit is the worst. Is it? Dog. Maybe you have to restart the phone. Oh, mobile app launcher isn't responding. Mobile app launcher isn't responding. Dog, there should be a fucking button. What do you want me to do about it? What do you want me to do about it? Is that my fault? Am I the one who did that? Do you guys remember when I was like, hey guys, I don't really stream my life 24/7. I actually am the president of the Moto app launcher app. Did you guys remember that? Do you? I certainly don't fucking remember that. Do you fucking remember that? Huh? Like that fucking girl with the meme who's like, or the guy from the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars who's like, fucking shit, man. Yo, but this phone starts up pretty quickly. Hey, Tim Cook. What are you doing right now? Oh, well, I'm waiting for my iPhone to start up. Oh, okay, cool. How's your fucking Apple Vision Pro? Is that cool? Oh, actually, sales have been down. I've never seen one of those. I've never heard of anybody having one. Worst shit ever. And you priced it? You priced it 10 times more than Zuckerberg shit? Worst idea ever. Those things are going to be in fucking museums. Like, worst idea ever. It could be better. Oh, look at this shit working now. Hey, Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg, your shit sucks.
Because it's soft, all of the winds of the world could blow against
Does it?
And what happens to the
God. I could be standing in the middle of that fucking street in Ho Chi Minh City.
Even laying on its side, but it's never uprooted. It's never uprooted.
What's that, Saigon then? Dog, it's Ho Chi Minh City, right? Fucking I wanted it to be Saigon.
It stands right back up in place. Yet interesting enough about Bilam Arasha, Bilam blessed us, and he called us a cedar tree. Now, what's the chap of the cedar tree?
What about Hanoi? Nobody even knows if that's a thing. They have a nice Hilton right here. Really? That's John McCain. Yo, what up, Ron? And I'm singing, so don't interrupt. I can't be without you if the was gone. Everything is nothing if you got no one in your life. Now we every time of the real thing. It happened to us and they have no doubt. They got no way out. This is just clear. We have to be the deer for the real thing. Tender winning life. Living life will never go. Living there's one. Living forever, maybe not even together. Making love with each other. Islands in the stream. That is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong? Sail away with me to another world, and we rely on each other. Never over to another. That was sick, was it? It's one of the sickest things of all time.
You just say, woe is me, I give you points.
Hey, Zuckerberg, no one wants to download 55 fucking apps to use your shit. New ways to reuse.
You can just give up. You're not happy with the way life is going.
I don't
give up,
give a fuck.
Lay down, play
Update
dead.
on your original audio. Just work. Just work.
Funny stuff that happens during the making of those shows. Like, there's some funny stuff. Okay, there's a funny thing that happened once. I remember we were at the witch show. Funny thing.
And one thing I know
Do a joke. Do a joke. I funny jingles. Let's hear the funny thing. What's your funny? Yeah, I want to show there's a way to do these things. There's a way to tell a story and you get to the point. You don't
this is a
think to make a
tumultuous
secret.
period and a tumultuous period of life. We are pushed down this way, pushed down that way. Tumultuous circumstances in life absolutely take their toll on us. But one thing I know, that when it dies down, and it will, slowly but surely bring down. Why? Because I've never been uprooted. But once again, going back to the beginning, as long as I keep myself rooted by water, the water of Torah, the water of Chesed, my root system is strong. And if my root system is strong, nothing and no one, no set of circumstances, no set of words, no matter how debilitating they may be, have the ability to uproot me from where I am situated. Incredible. Furthermore, what's the last column of the Thomas? Right, so you know what the crown of the Thomas really is? That it becomes the crown that I can say to Torah. At the end of the day, man will say, still the found the Torah becomes Rabbi. So the Torah represents again the book of our accomplishments.
It's really embarrassing, but I locked
What
myself
is the
out of my
personalistic
house.
Sefer Torah that you are writing? The top of the Sefer Torah. And so what's the meaning of the Sefer Torah?
I was helping a family.
Benefits
There's a window open, but I can't reach it.
We started with the word and end with the Sefer Torah. The real hallmark of your accomplishments is
You know
ultimately
what they say, every time God
it's very nice to
closes a door, he opens a window.
to be the reader.
I guess in this case, every time he opens it out. Okay, what do we got here? I mean, am I attracted to her? Yes. Would I ever act on it? No way. Not.
Your grand accomplishment ultimately is the
Are you sure I can't get you something to drink?
but that's the ultimately
Really?
must be able to be used
If I knew a man was going to climb into my bedroom window, I would have cleaned up a bit.
like
lotions and oils.
So apparently, Bilam the Gemara says means Yisrael. Yeah, Yisrael and
Can I help you find it? Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
From the Egypt that time they knew each other. So Bilam says to Yisrael, what are you doing here? That Yisrael is come. After all, we're getting involved in that same discussion in Egypt as a regular
Hi there. How are you doing? I am talking
So,
no, at my house. One of my neighbors saw it in my garage when you were in my bedroom. So, hi.
See, God, visit Jose. I recommend starting where I'm with. Just hop on the metro to MacArthur Park, take a swim in the freshwater lake, and you might even get a free card souvenir. After that, hop back on the metro to the Walk of Fame, where you watch the stars like Bill Cosby and Kevin Spacey, until you get punched by a horse. Then get some solitude at Runyon Canyon, then around 5:30 p.m., hop in a car and make your way across West Hollywood. Then after night falls, end your evening at Venice Beach and listen to the symphony of screams. Perfect LA tourist. Is the story of unimaginable suffering that can't be traced to the source. Right? The whole crop of Job was like Tzaddik Moralo, that righteous suffer. So there's unimaginable ways that we can't do understand. That's meant to see over here that at least according to this human Chazal, it wasn't for nothing. Job suffering as a punishment. Well, why was it a punishment? You had an opportunity to go ahead and stop this situation. You had an opportunity to stop it. And you didn't. And you have the opportunity to step in and prevent something bad from happening, and you fail to do so, you are complicit. So Job was complicit with Paro, and therefore ultimately he's punished with suffering. You know what happened? Yisro Shabbat, Yisro ran away. Because he ran away, Yisro was wow. Because he ran away, Yisro was that grandchildren who were members of the sect. smarter. So I said, isn't that wild? So Yisrael was silent, and then when we call out, Yisrael ran away because he had to be results of their children who married this woman. They'll say, you're saying, what's the burning question you have? What's the burning question? Why didn't he object? Why do you get credit for running away? It's cowardly. Why? Stand your ground and object. So understand. Yisrael was smart. What did he understand? He already lost. How did he already lost? Right? It was a tribunal of three. Alright, it was Paro. Sorry, it was a tribunal of four. It was Paro, Yisrael, Io, Paro was in, right? So Purim was in. So Io was silent, a non-vote, which means that Yisrael already understood how to voice anymore. So it's like, it is a tremendous so. When we see something that is broken, we absolutely have to try our best to try to fix it. But there are circumstances in life that are very broken, and what a person has to do with himself in that situation, you have to be solid. You have to remove yourself from it. You can't fix every problem, and again, sometimes certain situations are so toxic. Like when I saw, again, it can't be fixed. Instead, again, someone has to be removed from the situation because they themselves may be the social toxicity, or ultimately, again, you're just really I've got to get out. So ultimately, again, it's not just for running away of the terrorists. It's just for recognizing I don't have the ability to fix that thing in this situation, and therefore, I'm removing myself from the equation. That's what I've done. Now, you saw the problem on that. All is reduced the act. You do not go. All you have to know, all you know, once again, so the fact is also a second year of our life. So the was saying, most of the nations who get in the middle of Hashem and Klal Yisrael, when Hashem is redeeming his people. In other words, when a Baruch Hu redeems us, there's so much passion between Klal Yisrael and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, don't get in the middle of that. So the Gemara says, so apparently again, it would be the same thing as like trying to throw a garment in between a lion and a lioness when they're trying to mate. So apparently not a good idea to get in the middle of that. Right? And even if you go ahead and you place a garment there, the garment's not going to stop them from doing what they want to do. Good. They know exactly. That's the name of the place.
You guys know the long-time journalist and home product Mythbuster, and today...
So therefore, Bilam says to Balak, look, I can't curse them, but let me give you an eighth about what you can do to just be done with these people. Let me give you an eighth. All right, so Bilam, now watch what Bilam is. He says,
I'm very good, Brad. How are you? I'm great. I'm on Fox News. This is my first time being on here. I'm hitting this interview harder than Hannity hits the vape in a commercial.
So what's we play for that one. Bill says, here's my last piece of data. This is like the.
I'm very good, Brad. How are you? I'm great.
In case of emergency,
Commercial.
This is the fire alarm. This is what you do to cause yourself if you want to destroy them. I'm allowed. Elohim shall Eli Sonezima.
I'm very good, Brad.
We're so gorgeous. How are you so pretty? Just checked our tax, and you have been working at your job for 2 years and 43 days. Give me a hug for that. I was going to tell you. What? Sorry, Miss Egypt podcast. You're 5 of those media reports.
We can't do it. We're not honest with ourselves. We're not honest with each other. That's what we can't do. And anyway, but everybody's immorality is the right person.
This bitch seems to.
Now the Jews, this is fascinating. The Jews of that generation, they really like linen garments. But they like linen garments. And that she points out over here, why do they like linen garments? That's just what they wore to Egypt. Apparently, again, it's light, beautiful material, it's for all seasons. Right? So the men say they really like linen garments. Okay, that's their appetite for. So what should we do? Listen to this. You know, it's involved. Dasyaka is something. So we don't say spiritual. And that's the whole concept of that. What would you do? A 7 kilayim. So go make like a little bit of like a market, remember again, the Jews are camping in the desert. So Bilam, so just see, I have like the imagery over here. So Jews are camping in the desert. Bilam says to Balak, look, set up like a shuk, like a marketplace, right by the Jewish encampment. Okay? And go ahead, the whole shuk by the Zonos. Stack the shuk with harlots. With Zonos, okay? Zikirani bachutz, v'yadam b'difnei. An older harlot on the outside, and a younger harlot on the inside. Okay? You knock them out like inside. And again, this marketplace should sell one thing. Right? Little garments. Now, there's essentially two things. Little garments and wine. Right? We're going to see that wine comes in a little bit later on. For some little garments, so what happens? This is incredible. I said to Ryan, right now, like this what happens. So Bilam listen, sorry, Balak, listen, in the sample marketplace. I started Ryan, Sheva, at base of Yishimos. Going for the sales, securing the reports, we up in the business. Okay, so this is the plan. Because it's incredible tomorrow. When Sean Shea saw Oakland with Shosin is smoking, the Yosin with Kayo for sure. So this is how it happens. Probably so, we're minding our business. We're sitting in our encampment, so we'll say, what happens? Oakland Shosin is smoking. So let's say, do you know as soon as you think about our time in the desert? Do you know what happens like in a typical evening in the desert? Oakland Shosin is smoking. If I try to climb yourself, you eat a little something like someone, you made a l'chaim, we were happy with each other, we were happy with each other, we were happy with each other. Life was good. We're on our way to Israel, and now life was good. So what happened? The dinner was over. Where do you keep your spazier? So where do you go? So they walked around the marketplace. Roads without the shop.
After the job in the city, working for the man every night and day. But I never lost 1 minute of sleep. Then I was worrying about the way that things might have been. Big wheel keep on turning, the primary keep on burning, and we rolling, yeah. Rolling on the river, I cleaned a lot of plates in Memphis. Rolling on the river, cleaned a lot of plates in Memphis. And I pumped a lot of tang down in New Orleans. But I never saw the good side of the city till I hitched a ride on a riverboat queen. Big wheel keep on turning, but the primary keep on burning. And we're rolling, yeah, rolling on the river, rolling on the river.
And what happens? Now listen, this is before the wine of Gentile was prohibited. So therefore, again, there was nothing wrong with drinking the wine of a non-Jew. So we have a glass of wine. So she would ask, she would text me, would you like a drink of wine? So what's the said, like, you have a glass of wine, and what's what happens after a glass of strong wine? The desires to be unleashed. So, we can say, it's very important to understand. The context of this was purely transaction. Like merchandise-wise transactional. That was it. And it was that glass of wine, that is coming between the big for everything. So now, what happened at this point in time, the Muslim women with proposition of Jewish men. I was seeing you out, so we don't take off. I'm not was that. So what happened? So we take off, so the woman would say to the Jewish man, I'm going to have a relationship with you. Just don't go with yourself. She would take out the idol from inside the closet. And you know, like the festival, like the pocket one. And she would say the senior favor is to find you the next step of the year. If you don't mind, you can't go in the head and worshiping this idol. But it's all of us. I will be with you.
Time just outside.
And by the way, I want to point out,
waiting for the star.
What is he about to do? He's ready to go, right? He's ready to have a relationship.
Now you better take care. If I find you been creeping around my back stairs.
You will be out. You're about to engage this woman. I know what I'm about to do. But just because I'm about to do that doesn't mean that I'm going to worship idolatry. Right? Those are worlds apart. So what does she say to him? Come on, don't make more than it has to be.
Operator, would you help me place this call?
That's all you really need to do.
Say your number and the matchbook is old and faded.
It's good for the body. It's healthy. So really, you're happy. I was happy. I'm happy. Then we'll all be happy. Right? It's really fantastic. So just do a little defecation of good to go. Now, the Jewish man didn't realize that the way to worship Baal is through defecation. So he just thinks that this is a really strange woman, right? But at the same time, he really wants her. So okay, if that's what it takes, then okay, then I guess okay, right? So the nice again, say defecates, okay? Now after he defecates, he says, oh, by the way, one more thing. I need you to repudiate the authenticity of the Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu. Now, at this point in time, our youth is really far into this, right? He drank wine, he defecated, right? So pretty much like, he's in it, right? He's in it. So at a certain point in time, he made so many wrong turns. And you look back at those turns, right? And you're like, oh my God. So at this point in time, he's so far in with this world that makes this go down with the person and I anymore about more by not to reverse by speaking the album. So that's ultimately in this time. I want to point out two things in this story. Number one, you understand, by the way, what love is. This is a complex scheme. Right? And this is time. You to kill someone, that's exactly what you did. You're going to do several moments, and that's it. Done. This is time. This is resources. This is planning. This is hatred. This is when you hate someone, so I can hate someone enough to like smack them across the face. Because again, it's episodic, it's there, and they were arguing that they were done. I'm not going to I'm just saying you understand. You can understand that like these kinds of resources, you're sacrificing a generation of women. There's a lot of resources going into Judaism. That's it. By the way, this is what you see this stuff. Okay, we have to finish that first. Right, so one of the things, other people. What it also tells you, by the way, that the pathway to sin is often paved with very innocuous activities. The starting with shopping. Shopping is a good activity. Right, so I'm over Sarah. And we're going to argue about this. So it's nothing, it's something like this called love. Bad things happen when Jews shop. Right? So again, so it's fascinating just to see that Steve, that one goes on the list. Bad things happen when Jews shop, right? And so I just want to point out that it started now. Again, there's nothing wrong with shopping. If I pitched on what is interesting about stuff is I want to point out how many they pitched on is one person need. Like, why are they coming back to the marketplaces?
Along the way, we're waiting for the sunlight.
Excess of materialism.
When I feel cold, you warm me. When I feel I can't go on, you come and hold me. It's you and me forever. I said, smile. But what you smile upon me?
Leads to what? A glass of wine with a woman who's not having a glass of wine. And not because she's a silver. It's a very simple reason. She's not having a glass of wine. Is not your wife.
You wanna be free.
If they are not directly related to you, you should not be having a glass of wine with them. It's a simple math. Simple math.
Athleticism, folks.
When men and women who are not married to each other or directly related to one another share alcoholic beverages, it's not good. It's not good. So you see again, over excess in the income, let ultimately again to glass of wine with people that you should not be having wine with, and then what happens? People say, Zara, immorality, all this stuff. And where do you start with? What do you all start with? It started with too many linen garments. Too many linen garments. They'll say, this is most important. This is why a person who has to live life with such mindfulness, with such awareness. Every action has consequences, and every action is built into something that follows. And you something.
Thank you very well. See you leaving everything. I look good to you, look before. One thing you take my breath away. Generally, you're in my life. Starting everything, I think you like a day and night. Sometimes if you don't know what I'm singing, we'll be in a paradise. We don't change for happiness. Then if I lose you now, I think I would die. I'll say you'll always be my baby. We can make it shine. We can go forever just to make it all the time. More than a woman. More than a woman to me. More than a woman to me. Like history repeat itself. There's a kind of thing for you. 1,000 years. How can we live you again? This is the only way that we shake hands. This is the only way to go. And if I lose you now, you think I would die. I'll say you'll always be my baby. We can make it shine. More than a woman. More than a woman to me. More than a woman. More than a woman to me. To me. Look at this athleticism. To me. More than a woman. Once again, much better than but you understand. In other words, the camel wants something that's camel speak right. What does the camel want? Everybody wants points. No one messes with you when you have points. And the camel in his quest for points ends up using his own use. Like Bilam wanted to say it was beyond his reach, and he ended up using everything, namely his life. But as Bilam and Noah Kosei, and they killed Bilam and Noah, the sorcerer. He was Kosei. He wasn't a sorcerer. He was a Navi. Navi's wife was a sorcerer. Rabbi Yochanan Bichilan Rabbi Basot Kosi. In the beginning, he wasn't Rabbi. But they're both saying, sorcerer is a lesser position than a Rabbi. See, he wasn't Rabbi. And because of a series of bad choices, ultimately, again, he just didn't know that's a sorcerer. The Sagni, the Shilti, Havai, Aizon, and Gabi Navi. The woman, the princess, who was once married to royalty, ultimately committed adultery with a lady. In other words, we'll say,
It
Have
is
you
back
ever
to the
seen
princess
motherfuckers
in
in black
adultery.
hats,
It's even
black
worse when she
suits,
commits
black
adultery with
ties,
like a
munching
menial
to each
labor.
other?
So
Aside
again, Bilam
from
wasn't
your
happy. Bilam wasn't
local
happy. But
shul?
ultimately, again, he degraded himself so bad that
Alright,
he's
so
simply known as a sorcerer.
we're gonna watch the scene with Ray Charles, and you may be like, oh, we're watching the Ray Charles scene. The King Jr. Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, like celebrating black culture. But no, we watch Ray Charles and the Blues Brothers and all kinds of other amazing soul stuff every single fucking day of the year. Especially on Shabbat. Why? Because it's sick. Fuck, dog.
So
here
what
we go.
happened? By hanging him ultimately,
Now, if you're
again,
like,
that's
are you
kind
really going to teach us that
then
damn
they
like you have?
decapitated
But
him. That's
really, in my
sight.
time, nobody ever
That's how. That's how. That's right. That's sight. That's the
maybe
sword.
one time,
Right?
allegedly,
Then
it might
he
have been
falls
a
down into the
sock
fire.
somebody
That's
did.
skila. The skila is pushing a person off a
Aside
roof,
from
and
that,
then he
nobody's done
burns in the fire.
But we're
That's
going to try.
a shirka.
You're going to see one of the big
All four forms of
We'll
Misa.
try this. Here we go.
But how old
If
is
you all don't know who
when
Ron
he died?
Charles is,
How old is he when he died? So he runs
well, you're going to find out. He's amazing.
So again, so interestingly enough, said, I don't know. But
You know,
here's what I
we've
would
just been
surmise.
blessed
Since the
on
pasuk
this
says,
earth with
Anchi Damira,
people who
deceitful
have
people,
amazing talent. You know, Ray
not
Charles
even look the
and
half of their life. So we'll say
you
general
know, to
lifespan
have
is 70 years.
amazing
Half of that life will be 35. If your son don't even live to 35. So Rabbi Hanina says, I would guess, by plushing or by
it's like they were such good artists that
some age right below 35. Some of the shepherds, and they said, Rabbi Hanina, Shabbat comment, when you read Hazli Pinchas, I have Bilam's journal. I got a copy of his journal. And in the journal I saw the Avikasid Day, on Tzlasim, Shlas, Shmina, Bilam, Shahira, Kadkatri, Yosef, Pinchas, Nisrael, all about Bilam. And in it, it's written that Bilam was killed by Pinchas at the age of 33 years. Joseph Bilam was 33 when he died. Ultimately, stop over here.
So why did you ask me, baby?
Remove the goalposts every
I
day.
didn't you think I could
All right, everyone, so good morning. Let us begin by thanking all of our sponsors for this morning. To thank our annual Time and Place sponsors, the Touchstone KA, Wilson is Doctor, dedicating all the show instructions this year, wishing a tremendous mazel tov to Naftali's friend Benjamin Wall on the occasion of the marriage of his dear son Tobi of Tashira. The beautiful couple of years Hashem experienced tremendous nachas and hatzlacha, and why that's all of Klal Yisrael as well. Our Talmud Torah sponsors for the month of Nisan.
Are you fucking serious?
The celebration of the Nisan birthdays of his wife Kathy and granddaughter Tikva Esther. Anonymous Talmud Torah sponsors to be the source of simchas for all of our children, and for Nisan to be the month of Geula Shlema for Klal Yisrael. And Aaron will surely become a memory of Aaron's mother, Sarah Braina Bas Yeshua Heshel Zechor Bracha. A week of learning sponsors, Public Catholic College, University of Yards like Paul's father, Shmuel Ben Zachariah, and Cyril Bas Lebdo, and Steve Golaskov, in honor of all of the bracha that Hashem has provided for me, Jordana, and our families. Beautiful Shkoyach. As we do also with that, let us begin a tremendous shkrach to Debbie Daniel and the Chazara Chabura. I think a record crowd this morning, Baruch Hashem, absolutely. I'm sorry? That's like all the name of them. Good. All right, Baruch Hashem, they're definitely better rested. But really, and what's the cover again? I know it's only ends up being a couple of minutes, but the truth is, remember, to get a couple of minutes of Chazara, to walk away with reinforcing some of these souls to the dark, obviously you need probably a full hour to manage to, but like to accomplish in 10 minutes is incredible and a tremendous fact to all those who push themselves even just a little bit more. Incredible. Let's just today's status proof of 106. We are picking up the Yetzirah on Cliffhanger Days. We have a lot to do today. We are picking up the Yetzirah 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, about 11 lines up before it gets wide. Remember, again, we were speaking about, we ended off yesterday's down, which is fascinating, so about how exactly was Bilam able to curse Klal Yisrael, and the Gemara explains that essentially Klal Yisrael during that moment, and it would have catastrophic consequences for Klal Yisrael. A miracle occurred, and that entire time that Bilam was trying to curse Klal Yisrael, that entire time, because Rabbi never got angry. So we're picking up on that. It says, behind the Amali Bilam Navala, Ma'ekol Makavakel. So this is what Bilam said to Balak, Balak, what do you want to do? I can't curse Klal Yisrael because Rabbi doesn't want to curse them. There's nothing for me to do if I can't curse the people. Elza in Bachoyo, the Kamazama, so Doshon gets angry every day. And how long does the anger of the Ribono Shalom last for? The Gemara says, Rega. It's just a few moments. Really, I should say, just a moment. Just a moment, a singular moment. And his heart gets angry at. And again, if you catch God in that moment, then terrible catastrophic consequences for problems. שנאמר, תראה רבי יעקב, חיים ברצון. Basically, there are possibilities. So let's say again, let's just read about it's other possibilities by saying, Lech ani bo b'chadarecha. The Navi says, my nation, go into your hiding place. Go into your hiding place. U'sigar dalos chabadacha. Close the door behind you. Chadi kunat raga. Hide yourself literally again for just a moment. Ad ya'avor zah. Until the divine wrath passes by. So again, same idea. Chadi kunat raga. Just wait a moment until the divine wrath passes. See what it says. Good. Now, I get what that. Amos Rasas, when does this moment of anger occur? When does the Prophet get angry? So the Gemara says, in the first 3 hours of the morning, the early morning, ultimately, again, when the feathers of the rooster are totally white. So the Gemara says, the feathers of the rooster are always white. So the Gemara says, is based on so apparently, again, throughout the day, it might be white, but there are so small streaks of red in these early hours of the morning. So the so it's totally white. Okay, this is a story. Grab a story here.
Might as well be the one. With a show you section, told you to pray, that you were telling not to wait, and the things telling you the place that you pay, the things that you might have done, but only the good done, that's what I say, only the good die young, only the good die young. You gotta hurry like one with the things of this crowd. You ain't trying to get way too proud. You might be laughing a bit too loud, but there's no one. So come on, Virginia, show me a sign. Sing the blow your mind. Sing that curtain hide behind. Never let see the sun.
In other words, there's a theological issue, right? That's number 1. Number 2, obviously, he was subjecting Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi to a tremendous amount of difficulty, right? And pain. Rabbi Yeshua maybe is willing to go to these lengths to be able to do this. So I just want to point out again, we're only being told part of the story, but it's clear that there's much more that's happening over here. Okay, so Rabbi Yeshua maybe is ready to curse the guy. Listen to this. When that moment came, so literally again it's early morning, and therefore again Rabbi Yeshua is ready to curse the guy. When that moment is about to come, what happens? So Rabbi Yeshua fell asleep. The Gemara says, Kimati Shaitan, fell asleep. Surely he says it's clear. Laborachar means this is not the normal way. Surely says the fact that I fell asleep, I just managed to he's up the whole time. He's waiting for that one moment. And literally when that one moment came, he fell asleep. The fact that he fell asleep in that moment, what? The Prophet doesn't want me to do this. It's not what God wants. It's not the approach the Prophet wants. Right? The tzaddik is punishing someone, right? And the tzaddik is being the vehicle of misfortune for someone. The Prophet doesn't want us to go ahead and hurt each other. And even if the other deserves it, it's not. The Prophet doesn't want us cursing each other. The Prophet doesn't want us harming each other. even if the other, right now she says here, it's not good for the tzaddik to be punishment, and it's not good for someone to be punished because of the tzaddik. Incredible. What was that? I feel the mini boy by the minimum. I will say, and ultimately again, even with a min, even with someone who's a heretic, it's good for the tzaddik. It's not good for the tzaddik ultimately again to be the vehicle of divine punishment. Okay, we'll say, look at verse 105, the second of why this starts. On the bottom. Tell him to stay very there. So again, the Gemara says here, when the sun rises and the kings and sun worshippers go ahead and put their crowns on their head and worship the sun, those probably gets upset. In other words, what does that do? It's not about God getting upset. So when does God get upset? When one of them goes ahead and sees his creations, they got to give that to him, and instead serve other creations. That's what we do. I'm not going to do that. It's supposed to say back to the Lord. Go and get up in the morning. And he went ahead and he saddled his donkey. Okay. So what's that? Now, what's bothering me more about the pasuk over here? Bilam is a Christian guy. He's important. If he's important, then what should he not be doing? Right? He shouldn't be saddling his own donkey. You have a guy for that. Right? You need to still level. So why is it that Bilam himself is the one who is saddling his donkey? So he wants to tell Rabbi Shimon Elazar, Abba, you might tell us it's a shir shab Bilam. This is very interesting. There are certain things that disrupt the natural order of life. One of them is love. Love, right? What is it? Love makes you do crazy things. Love disrupts the natural order of human beings. Where do we know this from? So it says, Avram, B'tziv, Vayashkim, Avram, Baboker. Avram Avinu, the morning of the Akedah, right? Got up, and Avram Avinu also saddled his donkey. Avram has a guy, right? Avram has multiple guys. So why is he saddling his own donkey? Because remember, this is on the way to he's consumed with love for Yitzchak, consumed with love for HaKadosh Baruch. And love makes you do crazy things. Love disrupts the natural order of things. Okay? Furthermore, what else disrupts the natural order of things? Sinah, mevateles, shura, shel gedula. So I'll say hatred. Hatred also disrupts the natural order of things. Ultimately, again, Bilam got up in the morning and he sounded his own donkey. So I'll say it's interesting what's coming down between love and hate, like they're extreme emotions. So what do you see from here? Extreme emotional situations sometimes make us do irrational things. It's fascinating. Over here, the irrationality for Avram Avinu was beautiful because he was saddling his own donkey, consumed by his love for Hashem. Bilam was so consumed by his hatred and animosity for Klal Yisrael that he saddled his own donkey.
I was born in Little Rock, had a childhood sweetheart. We were always hand in hand. I wore high top shoes and shirt tails. Susie was in pigtails. I knew I loved her even then. You know my papa disapproved. My mama was rude. But I told them time and time again, don't you know I was made to love her? Build a world all around her. Yeah, hey. She's been my inspiration, shown appreciation for the love I gave her through the years. Like that sweet magnolia tree, butterfly so tenderly. My life is sweeter through the years. I know now my baby loves me. My baby needs me. That's why we made it through the years. I was made to love her, worship and adore. Hey, hey, hey. All through thick and thin, my life goes sweeter through the years. I know that my baby loves me. My baby needs me. That's why we made it through the years. I was made to love, worship and adore. Hey, hey, hey. All through thick and thin, our love just won't end. But I love my baby, love my baby. My baby loves me. My baby needs me. And I know I ain't going nowhere. I would get high to a chicken when the love was busy. Nothing is really sexy. There's this whole world crumbles.
Love something, even though again it's falling on my face. It's not like you're any more rested because you love something. You're literally exhausted. But again, I push myself because I love it. So where do we get that car? I will say again, it's important to understand that what it is that we do is like a shtickle abnormal. It's shtickle abnormal. And it'd be a little bit more normal to get a little bit more sleep, to be a little more rested, to be cold people that aren't like seeing double by 7 o'clock in the evening, right? It would be a little bit. So what's the shot? Where does it come from? Vayashkim Avraham Aboker. Adam was the first person to say, when you love it, the Ribono Shalom, when you love it, get up early. Get up early. Push yourself to do things that are a little bit abnormal. And I will say every single morning, when we do it, just understand, we are Abraham. We are Abraham. We manage following in the footsteps of the Zaydah, because Abba, Mekalkel, Eshua. Love makes people do crazy things. Sometimes they're negative, but for us as Yidden, always in the positive. Incredible. Okay, so Gemara goes weiter. Person should always learn Torah and Mitzvahs. Shalom v'shma, even after the right reasons. Even Shalom v'shma, right? Why? Gemara says Shemital Shalom v'shma, Baal v'shma. So because why? Sometimes in life, what's most important is do things for the right reasons. Even if at the end of the day, do the right thing, doing this for the wrong reasons. Why? Because over time, you'll come to do it for the right reasons. Whereas even if right now I'm not doing things for the right reason, over time I'll come to do it for the right reason. So the Gemara says, this is wild. Balak, the king of law, to sound Child's thing. And Balak, the king of law, who hired Bilam to curse Cloud Israel. So you need to take away that. Balak's a bad guy. Balak is a bad guy. But yet, he offered up 42 Kabbanos to the Ribono Shalom. It wasn't to idolatry. It was to God. Now, he offered up 42 Kabbanos because he wanted God to curse Cloud Israel. But Lamais, again, don't get caught up in the details, right? At the end of the day, he served HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Gemara says, in the schos of the service of Hashem, not for the right reasons. He had a granddaughter by the name of Rus. Rus had a great grandson by the name of David. And David and Hashem by the name of Mashiach. So as I say, Mashiach comes from Balak. How crazy is that? And Mashiach comes from Balak. He did something holy for all the
How many
wrong
times are you
reasons.
gonna fucking see
He
that
offered up
song?
42 Kabbalah all for the wrong reasons. Which Baruch Hu says, you know what he's going to say? Shkoyach. I'm not going to give you what you want. I'm not cursing Klal Yisrael. But look how amazing it is. Sometimes the most beautiful results come from the most unholy sources. As long as those unholy sources are laced with holiness, right? Sometimes again the most incredible results come out even from the most unnoble intentions. But nevertheless, Baruch Hu takes our avodah, even if it's shalom d'shma, because ultimately great value. Incredible. I'm Rabbi Yossi. Rus Vitosha Eglon Benjano Shambalak Rus was the daughter of Eglon. Eglon, right, was the king of Moab, right? And Eglon was the great grandson of Balak. But the only Rabbi Mari said, Yikan Elohim and Shem Shlomo Shmecha. Because son was Kizaka. Those are his beautiful words. So this is what I'm talking about. God will make the name of Shlomo. Now it sounds like you're saying it's not only the name of Shlomo, even greater than your name. And his throne will be even greater than your throne. So the Gemara says, is it appropriate to talk to the king this way, seeing that the next king is going to be even greater than you? It doesn't seem to be the greatest throne in this guy. So I was saying, right, next king, you're good. Next king, he's going to be fantastic.
Wow, you have so much bullshit content.
No. The Navi wasn't
But
saying
you know what they
that
will
Shlomo's going to be
about what
greater.
they look
It
at.
means that Shlomo's greatness is going
And I'm
to
gonna
be
just
like
be honest
yours.
with you.
Like
Maybe
your
nothing
greatness.
but honest
See,
with
look,
you.
I'll tell you, I have to interpret it
You
this
need
way.
to watch
Tvorach minoshim
more
Yael Eishes
10
Kamer
minutes.
Hakimi, Minashim Ba'ohel Tevurach. So we'll say Yael, right?
Well,
Yael
that's
from Sisra,
take a break.
and
You don't watch it in days.
so when Devorah praises her, he says, Devorah Minashim Yael, you will be blessed from amongst them in Yael, right? The wife of Chaver Hakimi, Minashim Ba'ohel Tevorach. From the women.
Why do you like this so
Yeah,
much?
here's the interesting part. Minashim, what does that mean? Minashim Ba'al Tevorach. So it would be tempting to translate it as you'll be even greater than the women of the tent, right? Now, who are the women of the tent? Manu, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Emos. What does it mean? Is the Navi saying that Yael's greater than the women of the Emos? So Gemara says, Orach, Aaron, Leah,
Why?
Why not? Of course not. Ella me'in kamar. How can I me'in kamar? So no. What the Torah was saying to Yael is, you are almost as great as the Emos. Much in the same way that the Navi is telling David, your son Shlomo will be almost as great as you. So now says interpretation of that. Other possibilities. If you give Rabbi listen to this. Bakol,
let's see some athleticism out of you. Well, there's no water. Why? Why not? No, that's not. That doesn't make sense. That's athleticism.
Very firmly, right? Because what the Torah tells us, don't covet. It is normal and natural to be jealous of other people's success. Right? Someone has more money than me. Someone is more successful than me. Someone has had more career accomplishments than me. I'm jealous of people who eclipse me. But the Gemara says there are two exceptions to this. Chutz, mibino, v'tamido. There are two people you never jealous of. There are two people who you want to be greater than you. Number one is your son. And number two, your Talmud. Your Talmud, your students. What every parent wants, I want my child to be better than me. I want them to be better than me. I want them to learn from all of my mistakes, learn from all of my wrong turns, and I want them to be 100% that. My Talmud, what does every single Rebbe want? Every single Rebbe wants a Talmud, ultimately again, who goes ahead and is greater than him, smarter than him, better than him. Because also in both of these cases, the students write that my son's success feels like my success. And my Talmud's success feels like my success. So the Gemara says to this. The Gemara says, so from son, how do we know that a father wants a son? So that's Shlomo. That's why again, according to this tradition, who is telling David, Shlomo will be greater than you. He will be greater than you. And David's like, great. Like, and tell me, where do we know that? Because we know Ibais Ema. You know, Kishnai Baruch, right? Ibais Ema, Bismo, Asyadav, Allah, Yisrael. One Basili's we learn it from Elisha, right? That ultimately, again, Elio gives Elisha Kishnai, a double portion of his greatness. So Elio wants Elisha to be greater, or Moshe to Yoshua. Hashem said to Moshe, place your hand, singular, on Yoshua, and Moshe placed his hands, plural, on Yoshua. So again, both of these Rebbeim wanted their Talmidim to be even greater than them. Incredible. Let's go back to Vayasim Davar B'Fi Bilam. Let's go back to Bilam. So Hashem placed his words in Bilam's mouth. So Bilam's are Omer Malach.
That's facts.
But yours are Omer Chika. So again, so one opinion says that Hashem placed the Malach in Bilam's mouth to prevent Bilam from saying and from cursing the way he wants. Other opinion says he placed the hook in Bilam's mouth to prevent Bilam from talking. Incredible. The Gemara says it's silent. But I'm really off on you. The question is also Rachel. So let's say this is incredible. If you want to know how Bilam wanted the curse, from the blessings you can see the curse.
You're watching. How is it? I'm seeing so much athleticism.
No more shuls. No more shuls.
No.
So the Gemara says, what did he say? Matovu ohalecha Yaakov. Like, again, it's interesting. From whatever he
Olympics only come once every 4 years. But you've got this.
What he had in mind to curse. So he created the curse of Tzai. That means he wanted to destroy the future Bati Medrash and Bati Knesset of Klal Yisrael. Incredible. Lo Tishra, Shechina Aleim. Don't let the Shechina rest upon them. Umishkal Sech Yisrael. Lo Tehei Malchus Amishach. Don't let the monarchy of Klal Yisrael endure. Kinechalim Nitayu. Lo Ye'elam Zaysim Klalim. They shouldn't have any type of vineyards, right? Vineyards or groves. So the Gemara says, Kiganos Alinar. Lo Ye'erechan. No, they were sent, literally shouldn't waft. Like should walk. In other words, that they're sent. They should have. What does that mean that they're sent? They should have an impact on the world. The Gemara says, "Ka'adim mita Hashem lo sorry, Ka'adim mita Hashem lo yelahem malachim b'alekoma." Their kings should not have stature. Ka'arazim alimayim lo yelahem melech ben melech. They should not have a dynastic monarchy. Yizal mayim midalyo lo tiyem achusan shalakas b'umos. Your monarchy should not have any control over the nations of the world. Yizaru b'mayim rabim lo tiyem azam achusan. The monarchy should not be strong. By Yorem Me'agav Marco. Lote Emas Makusan. No one should fear their monarchy. Latinas Makusan. Rabbi Abba kind of says this house. Kulam Chazul Klala. Chutz Nivati Knesset Matim Joshua. I'm not saying this. What's incredible. As much as Bilam's curses did not come true, they didn't come true at the time that he said them. But they have come true throughout Jewish history. They have, right? In other words, that there are different periods of time, and throughout different periods of time, Bilam's curses did come true, except for one. Klal Yisrael, we've never lost our shuls and our batanesh. Isn't that incredible? There's never been a period of Jewish history without even having shuls and batanesh. Absolutely incredible. Shnei Amar, Vayachol Hashem Elokecha L'Paz HaKlal L'V'Lacha, Ki Yahev Hashem Elokecha Klala V'Lo Klalos. Ultimately, again, so most of the curses at some point in time did come. But the one where Bilam said you'll never have Bati Medrash, you'll never have Bati Knesios, that never came true. Throughout the entirety of our history, we were never without Bati Knesios and Bati Medrash. Absolutely. Our Rebbe, every single week, we learn Piyashat stuff. Like the Rebbe maintained by investing in base Medrash, by investing in Shul, in the Warsaw Ghetto, throughout the years that he was there. Like that's Ish Kodesh, the Drushes that he gave. So can you imagine this? So all the other curses came true. But a yid without a base medrash, a yid without a shul, that never happened in the entirety of our history. Absolutely incredible. Let's go back there. Gemara says, I'm Rabbi Shlomo Nachman, I'm Rabbi Yonasan, my Pitzis, the Adamonim Pitzei Ohes, B'nei Ataros, the Shikos Sonim. So literally translated, what does it mean? Essentially, good are the injuries given to you by someone who you love, and despise are the kisses of an enemy. What does that mean? So the Gemara says, we'll say this is wild. So ultimately, again, the Krella, the curse that we got from Achia Shiloni, right? You remember Achia Shiloni? Where you see him? 50 days ago. Where you see him? Excellent. By Ravam ben Nevat. Right? He was the one who took the garment, tore it into 12 pieces, gave Yeravim, 10 of the pieces, said, you are now the Melech over. Wow, it's Achiash, so Achiash really cursed us, though. What it means he cursed us is he was delivering verbal rebuke on behalf of God. So essentially, Rafa Abdullah, this is an incredible Gemara, how so? This is overwhelming Gemara. Listen to this. Here we go. Achiash Shiloni, as you saw the color. Achiash Shiloni cursed us. And again, I want to say curse is a strong word. He's delivering rebuke. Okay, but we're going to call it a kala. When he cursed us, he referred to Klal Yisrael as a reed. As a reed, a kana. Listen to the Shnei Amar. V'hika Hashem es Yisrael, kasher yonot hakana b'mayim. So Hakadosh Baruch Hu will literally strike Klal Yisrael just like a reed is stricken in the water. So listen now, what does this mean? So why does he compare us to a reed? Get ready for his words. This is incredible. It's not kana that omer b'makom. So first of all, a reed always stands by water, right? The diesel massive and a reed regenerates. So it's always found by water. It regenerates. Shrosh merubin. It has a lot of roots. And afilu kol ruchos shebaolam ba'os b'noshim. And listen, now what happens with the reed? The reed is soft. Because it's soft, all of the winds of the world should blow against it. And what happens to the reed? Eino mazisin also mutama. So what happens to the reed is the reed be totally blown over, even laying on its side, but it's never uprooted. The notion is a mazizin also mutama. Elahu oleh ubayman. So ultimately, again, the reed just sways with the wind. Kevan shedomamu haruchos amad kana b'mukama. But as soon as the wind is finished, what happens to the reed? It stands right back up in place. Yet interestingly enough, about Bilam Arasha, Bilam blessed us, and he called us a cedar tree. Now, what's the top of the cedar tree? Not Eretz Azeh, so first of all, the cedar doesn't grow by water. Like Visharasha Muluk, and furthermore, the cedar has a very shallow root system. Once you cut down a cedar tree, it does not go ahead and regenerate. And cedar is a very strong tree, and therefore all of the winds in the world could blow against it, and they won't move it. But once the southern wind goes ahead and blows against the cedar tree, so apparently again, while all the winds can't do anything to the cedar tree, the southern wind does have the ability to uproot it and put it on its face. Not only that, you want to follow oath, going back to the lead for this moment, further, also the reed is privileged to be fashioned into a quill, ultimately to be used to write a Sefer Torah. So you'll say, therefore, again, better to get the curse of Achia Shilonim, right, than to get the bracha of Goram. I will say it's important to take a moment. In that bracha of Achia Shilonim is something incredibly profound. Everything we need to be successful is contained in this Gemara. Number one, to be like to read. Number one, plant yourself by water. Water, let's say, what does water represent? Water is Torah, water is also Chesed. Water is Torah, water is Chesed. Let's say if a person wants to sustain themselves in life, there are two things you need to do. You need to be completely embedded in the life of not just learning Torah, but living Torah. Furthermore, you cannot be a person who only exists for yourself. It must become a person who is about Chesed. It must become a person ultimately, again, who is rooted in a life of giving and doing for the other. Furthermore, let's say life is filled with winds. Life is filled with circumstances that we don't like and we don't want. There are two different ways that you can deal when the winds of unwanted circumstances blow against. So number one, you can just fall down. You can just say, woe is me. Woe is me. I didn't want this. I didn't plan this. I don't like this. It's a low fair. Whatever you want to say. Right? And you can just give up. You can just give up. You're not happy with the way life is going. Give up. Lay down. Lay down, play dead. You could do that, or you could go with it. You could roll with it. Just lean into it, and the wind's going to blow me here, and the wind's going to blow me there, and life circumstances have a way of moving me all different kinds of places. But one thing I know with absolute certainty, which is, when the winds die down, I'll spring back. I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Right? Whenever, again, this is a tumultuous period of life, and in tumultuous periods of life, we are pushed down this way, pushed down that way. Tumultuous circumstances of life absolutely take their toll on us. But one thing I know is that when it dies down, and it will, I'll slowly but surely spring back. Why? Because I never give up rooted. Because once again, going back to the beginning, as long as I keep myself rooted by water, the water of Torah, the water of Chesed, my root system is strong. And if my root system is strong, nothing and no one, no set of circumstances, no set of winds, no matter how debilitating they may be, have the ability to uproot me from where I am situated. Incredible. Incredible. Furthermore, what's the last quality of the coolness? So you know what the crown of the coolness really is? When it becomes the soul, that writes the Sefer Torah. At the end of the day, and that I will say so profound on so many different levels. Sefer Torah represents again the book of our accomplishments. At the end of the day, what's your book of accomplishments? What is the personalistic Sefer Torah that you are writing? The top of the Sefer Torah. What's the beauty of writing a Sefer Torah? It doesn't just benefit you, it benefits others. And it's going full circle. So we started with the water, we end with the Sefer Torah. The real hallmark of your accomplishments is ultimately what you're able to do. While it's very nice to be the root, to be the reed, and all these beautiful things, at the end of the day, what is it that you're contributing to Klal? What is it that you're doing? What is your grand accomplishment ultimately is a personalistic Sefer Torah you write for yourself, but that Sefer Torah ultimately has to be able to be used by others as well. Incredible. Let's go back there. So the Gemara says as follows: Vayaris Akini. So still back to the middle. Vayaris Akini. Vayisa Mishlo. Amar Bilam Yisrael. Kini. Lo Haisim Lo Baosei. That's what I'm saying. Here's what's interesting. So apparently Bilam, the Gemara says, means Yisrael. Now, Yisrael and Bilam knew each other. Right? We're going to see in this moment, they knew each other from the Egypt days. That's how they knew each other. So Bilam says to Yisrael, what are you doing here? Now Yisrael was probably Yisrael. So he says, Yisrael, what are you doing over here? What's going on over here? After all, weren't you involved in that same discussion in Egypt, which we'll get to in just a moment? So the Gemara says, who positioned you, who planted you over here with Moshe Rabbeinu? Klal Yisrael. Let's say there were three people who were involved in that council. Now, what council? Rashi points out when Paro said, Paro said, those are Jewish babies into the Nile. There are three people involved in that decision, or three people involved in that discussion. Who were they? Elohim, Bilam, Eov, and Yisrael. Okay. Bilam, Shiyatz Nerak. Bilam said to Paro, yes, I agree. I vote yes. Bilam ultimately was killed. Now again, it wasn't so much later, right? Remember again, not much later. He's killed in the desert, right? So Bilam, Shiyatz Nerak. Eov, Sheshasak, Nidon Yisrael. Wow. Eov, who was silent. He didn't object, but he also didn't have to react. He was punished with suffering. And I say, isn't that wild? So I say, so, the whole story of is the story of unimaginable suffering that can't be traced to its source. Right? The whole crop of Eov is like tzaddik paralo, let the righteous suffer. Sometimes in unimaginable ways that we can't even understand. It's fascinating to see over here that at least according to this stream in Chazal, wasn't nothing. Eov's suffering was a punishment. Well, why was it a punishment? Eov had an opportunity to go ahead and stop this situation. He had an opportunity to stop it. Right? And he didn't. And when you have the opportunity to step in and prevent something bad from happening, and you fail to do so, you should create power. And therefore, ultimately, you punish the suffering. What happened? Yisro Shabara. Yisro ran away. Because Yisro ran away, because he ran away, because of the son. So I say, isn't that wild? So Yisro was silent, and therefore Yisro ran away, and because he ran away, he was not going to have children who were married to him. I say, you'll say, what's the question? What's the burning question you have? What's the burning question? Why didn't he object? What do you mean? Why do you get credit for running away? It's cowardly. Right? Stand your ground and object. So understand. Yisro was smart enough. What did he understand? He already lost. Right? How did he already lost? Right? It was a tribunal of three. All right. It was Paro. Sorry. It was a tribunal of four. It was Paro, Yisro, Eov, Bilam. Paro was in, right? So Bilam was in. So Eov was silent, a non-vote, which means that Yisro already understood. I don't have a voice anymore. So it's like, it is a tremendously so. When we see something that is broken, we absolutely have to try our best to try to fix it. But there are circumstances in life that are very broken, and what a person has to do with themselves in that situation, you have to misalik. You have to remove yourself from it. You can't fix every problem, and again, sometimes certain situations are so toxic that the life, again, it can't be fixed. Instead, again, someone has to be removed from the situation because they themselves may be the source of toxicity, or ultimately, again, they're just being so much, I gotta get out. So ultimately, again, it's not Yisro running away with active powers. It's Yisro recognizing I don't have the ability to affect change in this situation, and therefore I'm removing myself from the equation. Let's go back to Vayisa Mashal Omer. Oy mi yichya. Yishua kept. Oy lo lu'uma shetim tzadishash k'ukot. So Bilam was saying, woe to the nation who gets in the middle of Hashem and Klal Yisrael when Hashem is redeeming His people. In other words, when Hakadosh Baruch Hu redeems us, there's so much passion between Klal Yisrael and Hakadosh Baruch Hu that ultimately don't get in the middle of that. So the Gemara says, listen to this. The Gemara says, so mi matot ksusa ben labid l'leviyah v'shashin ischakim zeh im zeh. So apparently, again, it would be the same thing as like trying to throw a garment in between a lion and a lioness when they're trying to mate. So apparently, not a good idea to get in the middle of that, right? And even if you go ahead and you place a garment there, the garment's not going to stop them from doing what they want to do. The Gemara says, good. Tzim miyad kisim amarav libot asbir. That's the name of the place. V'anu asher ba'avoy. Ad asher kadlei mikdal mikhanzeila. So ultimately, again, one day will spread out. They'll count our vast land up until Asher will kill. From there and afterwards, they will enslave. So I was okay, now incredible Gemara over here. So now Bilam realizes, fast forward a little bit, right? Bilam realizes he can't curse the Jewish people. As they say, Zela Ola. It's not working. So therefore, Bilam says to Balak, look, I can't curse them, but let me give you an eighth about what you can do to just be done with these people. Let me give you the eighth. All right, so what? So Bilam, now the lashon of Bilam is, he says, "Sheyasa ha'am hazeh la'amecha." So the Gemara says, "Amecha la'am hazeh." Why should it be your nation? It should be this nation. The person himself ultimately again hinges the curse on others. So what's Bilam supposed to say now again? The curse is not towards you. Bilam says, Baba. Here is my last piece. He said, this is like the polling case. So what is it? Polling case of emergency. Right? This is the fire alarm. This is what you would probably solve if you want to destroy them. Elohim shall elu sonez morality. Right? Listen, we've seen by the way over here. Morality is not the thing that the Prophet hates most. What does Hashem hate most? We saw this. What's Hashem hate most? Dishonesty. Disingenuity. Right? That's what the Prophet hates more. The Prophet hates people who just are dishonest. The Prophet can deal with any and every Avera. He really can. But he can't deal with when we're not honest with ourselves, we're not honest with each other. That's what he can't do. But in any event, but nevertheless, right? Immorality is a very close thing. And he has like immorality. He does like immorality. So Bilam says like this. The name Now the Jews, this is fascinating. The Jews of that generation, they really liked linen garments. That's what they like. They had a thing for linen garments. Now Rashi points out over here, why did they like linen garments? Rashi says it's what they wore in Egypt. Apparently, again, it's light, it's readable material, good for all seasons, right? So from a nice time, they really like linen garments. Okay, that's their appetite for it. So what should you do? Listen to this. The Gemara says, "Bo v'asiyaka eitza." So Bilam says, "Here's what you should do." And Bilam lays out the whole plan for Bala. Here's what you do. Aselim kilayim. So go make like a little bit of like a market. Remember again, the Jews are camped in the desert. So Bilam, so just see, I have like the imagery over here. So Jews are camped in the desert. Bilam says to Balak, "Look, set up like a shop, like a marketplace, right by the Jewish camp. Okay, and go ahead. V'hoshid b'ayim zonos. Staff the shops with harlots." With zonos, okay, Zikina mibachos, an older harlot on the outside, and a younger harlot on the inside. Okay, and again, this marketplace should sell one thing, right? Linen garments. Now we're going to see really two things: linen garments and wine, right? We're going to see that wine. Right, so some linen garments, and what happened? This is incredible. Aslam kilayim, right? What happened? So Bilam listened. Sorry, Balak listened, and they set up a marketplace. Aslam kilayim nehar sheleg adbesa yishimos. Moshe ben Zoros is a king of the Chutz v'yaldim midufim. Okay, so here was the plan. It was this incredible Gemara. Ubishar sheYisrael ochlim v'shosim v'smeichim. V'yotzin l'tayo v'shos. So I says, now what happens? Cloud Yisrael, we're minding our own business. We're sitting in our encampment. So I'll say, what happens? Ochlim v'shosim v'smeichim. We'll say, do you know, sometimes we think about our time in the desert. Do you know what happened like in a typical evening in the desert? Ochlim v'shosim v'smeichim. We fought brands, right? Cloud Yisrael, eat a little something, you have someone, time, we were happy with each other, we're happy with Moshe, we're happy with Moshe. Life is good. We're on our way to Eretz Yisrael, we're on our way to Eretz Yisrael, and now Michigan, life is good. So what happened? The dinner was over. You take a little spatzia. Where do you take the spatzia? Where do you go? You went to the shop. So they walked to the marketplace. Those are the Bashuk. Omeris laws the Kano. So the older harlots, remember again, where are the older harlots stationed? Right? They were on the outside. So what happened? So the Gemara says, so what happened? So the older harlots would say, oh, you're in the market for, you Jews, you're in the market for linen garments? Good, I'm selling it for X. Right? For X. Right? Retail. Right? Meanwhile, what would happen? The Yolda Omeris law, the Pavos. Now, meanwhile, the younger harlot, so essentially there were two stalls, right? So the older harlot would be on the outside, the younger harlot would be on the inside. The older harlot would say, I'll say the klipish retail. The younger one would call out, come to me, right? Right, so obviously again, so go wholesale. This happened, now I will say, nothing happened in the beginning, just purchasing of linen garments. Shkayim, Shalosh, Pan, this happened 2 or 3 times. Dachakach, Omeris Lo, Hariat, Kibben, Bainis. Shev, Barley Atzme, this, what happened? See, now, after a couple of times this happened, so of course, again, we'll say, they have no idea right? Again, remember, up until now, this business. So this happened a couple of times, the younger harlots who ran the businesses on the inside. So they would say to the Jewish men, listen, you've come here already a couple of times, come inside. Come inside, right? You're doing this wrong, come inside, come sit a little bit. They start, and she would have a jug of good Ammonite wine, which apparently again was very strong. And what happens? And we'll say this is before the wine of Gentiles was produced. So therefore there was nothing wrong with drinking the wine of a non-Jew. So you would have a glass of wine. So she would ask the Jewish customer, would you like a drink of wine? So we'll say he said yes, he'd have a glass of wine. And I will say, what happens after a glass of strong wine? The desire should be unleashed. Right? So it was just, again, I will say, it's very important to understand the context of this was truly transactional. I mean, like merchandise-wise transactional. But that was it, and it was that glass of wine that kind of became the gateway for everything. So now what happened at this point in time, the Midianite women would proposition the Jewish men. So what happened? So she would take out, the woman would say to the Jewish man, I want to have relations with you. Just one little detail. See this she would take out the idol from inside her clothing, a little idol, like a pestle, like not a big one, just like a pocket one. Right? And she would say, over here, if you wouldn't mind just going ahead and worshiping this idol. This is incredible. Hello, Yehudi. You say, isn't this incredible? You cannot, the world doesn't understand the Kedusha of the Jew. Right? So the Yiddish say, what are you talking about? Right? It's like, and by the way, I just want to point out, this guy obviously isn't the frummest guy in the world. Art school's not writing his biographies. Remember, what is he about to do? This guy is ready to go, right? He's ready to have relations with this Midianite prostitute. So, this is not like a gun olam over here. But yet, when she wants him to worship idolatry, she's like, what? You're about to engage this woman. I know what I'm about to do. But just because I'm about to do that doesn't mean that I'm going to worship idolatry. Right? Those are worlds apart. So what does she say to him? Come on, don't make more than it has to be. This is Baal Pa'ar. So all you need to do is defecate, right? That's all you really need to do, right? Just to know about how we function, right? So just go ahead, just relieve yourself. It's good for the body, it's healthy. So really, anyway, you're happy, Ido's happy, I'm happy, then we'll all be happy. Right? And it's going to be fantastic. So just do a little defecation of that. The Jewish men realize that the way to worship Al is through defecation. See, he just thinks that this is a really strange woman. Right, but at the same time, he really wants her. So okay, if that's what it takes. Then okay, I guess okay. Right, so a nice say defecate. Okay, they have to be defecate. She says, oh, by the way, one more thing. I need you to, at this point in time, our Yid is really far into this. Right, he drank wine, he defecated. Right, so pretty much like. He's in, right? He's in. So at this, I will say, at a certain point in time, he made so many wrong turns, and you look back at those turns, right? And you're like, oh my gosh! At this point in time, he's so far in with this woman that Lamaisa he goes at this confession. So ultimately, and this is how it started. I must say, I want to point out two things from the story. Number one, do you understand, by the way? You understand to what lengths they went like this is a complex scheme, right? And this is time. You know what this is? This is real anti-Semitism. You have to, to kill someone, like you can't kill someone. Right? You pick up an Jewish, you have to do, it's a couple of moments, right? And that's it. Done. This is time. This is resources. This is planning. This is hatred. This is what, when you hate someone, so like, if I can hate someone enough to like smack him across the face, because again, it's episodic, it's there, he's there, I'm there, we're arguing, okay, we're done. I'm just saying, you understand. You can understand that but like, you're tying up resources. You're sacrificing a generation of women. Like this is a lot. There's a lot of resources going into Jew hating. That's anti-Semitism. By the way, this is what we see. This we have to finish. Let's come back to this. We'll say it also tells you, by the way, that the pathway to sin is often paved with very innocuous activities. It started with shopping. By the way, you can use this one. Shopping is a gateway activity. Like travel to Zara. And what are you going to do? You're going to argue? You're going to argue with that? It's not me. It's not me. It's not me. Bad things happen when Jews shop, right? So again, so the nice Steve, that one goes on. Bad things happen when Jews shop, right? And so the nice also said, I just want to point out that it started. Now again, there's nothing wrong with shopping. They're buying clay pishtan. What is interesting about that is, I want to point out how many clay pishtan does one person need? Right? Why are they coming back to the marketplaces multiple times? Remember, again, I will say they didn't even need any dry cleaning in the midbar. Because Baruch did everything for that. So both sides, if they were coming back multiple times, what does that show you? Excess of materialism. Excess of materialism. You don't need that many sets of clay pishtan. You don't need that many articles of clothing. No one needs a wardrobe like that. And if you just keep buying and buying and buying and purchasing and purchasing, then your focus is shifted. Again, enjoy the material world. Enjoy materialism. But don't let it become your focus. The moment it becomes my focus is the moment that I am now opened up to a whole bunch of other things. So overindulgence in the material leads to what? A glass of wine with a woman you should not be having a glass of wine with, and not because she's a zona. There's a very simple reason. You should not be having a glass of wine with any woman who is not your wife, your mother, your sister, or your daughter. If they are not directly related to you, you should not be having a glass of wine with them. It's a simple math. Bad things happen when men and women who are not married to each other or directly related to one another share alcoholic beverages. It's not good. It's not good. So you see, again, over excess in materialism led ultimately against a glass of wine with people that you should not be having wine with. And then what happens? They're both like Zara, immorality, all this stuff. And where did it start with? What did it all start with? It started with too many linen garments. Too many linen garments. Let's say this is the most important. This is why a person, we have to live life with such mindfulness and such awareness. Every action has consequences, and every action is a gateway to something that follows it. And even something that is inherently non-sinful, but it might not be the right thing to pull it in the direction to get to in life. All right, let's go back to it. Vayeshev Yisrael b'Shittim. Rabbi Elazar Omer, Shittim Shema. The name of the place is Shittim. Rabbi Shua Omer. No, it's called Shittim because again, it was a place in Bab Yisrael. Ultimately, again, that we involved in for Baba Sishtos. Literally, again, the Midianite women, they didn't even wear clothing. They didn't wear clothing. In other words, they were so bent on just enticing the Jewish men to sin that, like, even debased themselves to the point just to get the men to sin. Rabbi Yeshua Omer, Shenasu Kulam Balei Karyos. Obviously, the men, so let's say the men seen women like this, again, it became a Bal Karyos. Oh, there were similar missions. My Lashon Rafidim, Rabbi Elazar Omer, Rafidim Shema, then Rabbi Yeshua Omer, Shariku Asim L'Divrei Torah. Ultimately, again, they became weakened in their relationship with Torah. Shnei Amar, Lo Hifnu Aval Sabana Merifyon Yadayim. Rabbi Yochanan, K'mokum Shnemar Vayeshev, Ela Allah Lashon Sa'ad. So I'll say wherever the Torah uses Lashon of Vayeshev is always a Lashon of Tzad, a Lashon of difficulty. Shneimar, Vayeshev Yisrael b'Shittim, Vayachal Am Liznos, Avanos Moav, Vayeshev. So that's our story over here by Bilam. Vayeshev Yaakov Baris Mugurei Aviv, Baris Kinan, Vayavi Yosef Zilas Amal Abraham. So we'll say ultimately Vayeshev Yaakov, the cell of Yosef. Shneimar, Vayeshev Yisrael Baris Goshen, Vayikvu Yimei Yisrael Lamos. Right, Yaakov in the cell in Goshen, Yaakov in the time that's long after. Vayeshev Yehuda Yisrael of Betach, Ishtakas Gavno, Takas Tina. So Vayachal Hashem Satan Shoas Hadat Hadomi Mizera Hamelach Ube'adam. So again, whenever you see the word Vayeshev, as much as Vayeshev sounds like a lashon of tranquility, usually it foreshadows something negative that is going to happen. As Malchei Midian Harba Halaleim, as Bilam. So what's ultimately Klal Yisrael kills all of the kings of Midian, and they also killed Bilam along with the kings of Midian. Now it says the Gemara. So the Gemara says, my boy Hassam, why was Bilam with the kings of Midian? Why was he there? First the Gemara says, so it's like Bilam went to collect his honorarium. Now, why did Bilam get an honorarium? After all, again, he didn't have people. Or was he something better than person? What did he do? He devised the strategy to notice his work of immorality, which cost the lives of 24,000 Jews. So Bilam went to the king's army and said, Chevra, pay up. I delivered you dead Jews. Right? I went ahead and caused Sally to suffer with terrible misfortune. You give me my money. And what ends up happening? He goes to collect payment. And what happens? He goes to the payment and he ends up dead, killed by Klal Yisrael. This is going to be the famous adage, Gamla Alza Lemibay Karni, Ordinary the Havi Lake, Zizan Yule. So the famous everyone knows the saying, right? The camel goes to get a pair of horns and ends up losing its ears. Again, let's say one much better than our man, right? But you understand. In other words, the camel wants something else. The camel has big, right? What does the camel want? Everybody wants horns. Who doesn't want horns? No one messes with you when you have horns. And the camel, in his quest for horns, ends up losing his own ears. Right? Bilam wanted something that was beyond his reach. He ended up losing everything meaning in his life. Guys, Bilam ben Be'or Kosein, and they killed Bilam ben Be'or, the sorcerer. Kosein, Bilam Nabi, myself Kosein. In the beginning, he wasn't Russian, then a Nabi. So he wasn't Nabi, but because of a series of bad choices, ultimately, again, he's just labeled as a sorcerer. The Sagni, the Shilti, Havai, Aizam, and Gabi Nabi. The woman, the princess, who was once married to royalty, ultimately committed adultery with a laborer. In other words, we'll say, it is bad for the princess to commit adultery. It's even worse when she commits adultery with like a menial laborer. So again, Bilam wasn't Nabi. But ultimately, again, he degraded himself so badly that he's simply known as a sinner. Hargu b'nei Yisrael al Chalila. Amarav shekaimu bo arba misos stila seitayim dekana. I must say, when the Jews killed Bilam, they killed him in a way that he suffered all 4 forms of execution. Stila seitayim dekana. How do they do this? Rashi points out something amazing. They hanged him. Right? They hanged him. Right? So ultimately, I will say, listen to this. So Rashi points out that they hanged him underneath the fire. So what happened? By hanging him, ultimately, again, that's chenek. Then they decapitated him. That's sight. That's herek. That's right. That's sight. That's the sword. Right? Then he falls down into the fire. That's a skila. That skila is pushing a person off a roof, and then they burned in the fire. That's straight up. Execute him with all 4 forms of violence. How old was Bilam when he died? How old was he when he died? Because of actually so again, so interesting enough, Rabbi said, I don't know, but here's what I would surmise. Since the pasuk says, deceitful people, do not even live to half of their life. So we'll say general lifespan is 70 years. Half of that life would be 35, which means the Shem don't even live to 35. So Rabbi Hanina says, I would guess, Bar Tlasin or Bar Tlasin of Arba. He was either 33 or 34. Some age right below 35. So I'm going to shop it and instead Rabbi Hanina Shpaya. I have Bilam's journal. I got a copy of his journal, and in the journal I said, because of okay, our tlasim was shnin Bilam Hadira had couple of a book about Bilam, and in it it's written that Bilam was killed by Pinchas at the age when he died. Ultimately, again, a little bit less of us. I was up to stop over here. We got some days. Right, again, we move the goalposts every day. Right, today we got the Avez outside. Everyone. Tremendous.
Alright, you're fucking guys.
Yeah.
You're overstimulated. They can't even kiss me. What is that? What would your stimulation level have to do with you? Because if you're stimulated, wouldn't you want to kiss them? Right. I'll stimulate you. My lips are disgusting. You say like, oh gosh, I can stimulate you. Like, well, actually, that's a problem. You can't.
Begin by thanking all the sponsors for this morning cheer to thank our annual Talmud Torah sponsor, the ROTHSCHILD, for dedicating all the children draw shows this year as a zechus for the summer of our Talmud Torah sponsors for the month of Nisan, arriving with the fall pilot, the celebration of the Nisan birthday is like happy of his granddaughter Tikva Esther. Anonymous sponsorship in the Zechus of Simchas for all of our children and producing to be a month of Gulu Shema of Klal Yisrael, and Avram and Shin becoming many of Avram's mother, Sarah Reina Bas Yeshua Hesh.
The same thing, like the ice agents were overstimulated because their balls is telling people to stimulate them.
Father, Shmuel Ben Zechariah, a great David Sale,
Alright, let's see. Oh, it's like Bambino,
all of the Shams having on you, the values in the summer, all of our the Carl, and soldiers to the success of the master. Was it that something?
Why did that guy die? He's like, stop choosing me. It's not about choice. Were you listening? You chose not to listen. You know what I said? No, in response to a question, he's like, it's all about choice. It's not about choice. Now I'm going to bring up this race.
So the Gemara says this probably so again, speaking about the Yushan Smith and Yisrael, he cries at night. The Gemara points out the idea that it's supposed to be a whole to swear, it's two crimes. So why double crying? Think of your Halal Lama. Why are two crimes in this evening? Amarabba, Amarabba, Echad Amikdash Rishon, the Echad Amikdash Sheni. One cry ultimately against the destruction of the first base on the crash, and one cry for the destruction of the second base. So why is crying at
You'll never fully get away when you dip your toe in. It's not going to be the last time you go to the beach.
For that which occurred at night. What is this in reference to? Shneimar was a very profound Shneimar. Vayisa kola Eda vayikum kola vayitzwa am balay lahahu. A reference to Krishna Meraglim, sin of the spies. The Apostle says that when the spies came back to deliver the disastrous report, so the entire nation began to cry that night. The Gemara says, Amar Rabbi, Amar Yochanan, also no more catch the ark. That night was the night of Tisha B'Av. Amar Rabbi from the and again, so the Prophet says to God, Israel, Atam, the piece of your Shapino, you're crying for absolutely no reason. Others do nothing on the other side of God's conflict. I need extra left hand to hear it goes. I will give you all three reasons to cry for future generations. A very overwhelming one. Never ask another time to read Balai. I wanted to say that the whole tip Kebas was trying to understand the idea over here is that for Sharon is like this widow. The widow cries by day, the widow cries by night. Why does Ahab highlight the nighttime cries? Because Ahab Balayla, because when you cry at night, your voice carries more. Since at night is not background noise. When a person cries at night, your cries are more profoundly heard. Ahab Balayla, furthermore, when you cry at night, so to speak, that the stars and the constellations cry along with you. And also so the most, that when a person cries at night, anyone else who hears those cries will use too. When you cry at night, ultimately the voice carries. When you cry at night, the stars, the constellations cry along with you. There's this profound sense of prayer.
There's only 6
Because of that, when people hear other people crying at night, it's almost as if it's kind of spreads. So it's a very beautiful Gemara, a profound Gemara. Nicety Isha Asmas, Kenta Shadigamio, Shemit Dina. There's a story of a particular woman. She was the neighbor of Rabbi Gamio, and she lost her son. She lost her son. Haisaboka Allah Balayro. And she would cry over him every night. Shem Rabbi Gamio Kola, Ubacha Kinegda. Rabbi Gamio heard her crying, and he began to cry as well. Now listen, this is such a profound dilemma about empathy. And when you hear this bereaved mother crying over her child, Nathaniel himself is actually literally saying, again, try to control his eyelashes. To the point of like, is it actually? Take it off on me, dog. Or finish with us. The next thing is you realize what was happening, how much you internalized the pain, and the new things to a different neighborhood. Marvin Levy, with my sour Raphael, her tears on her cheek. I'm going to recognize you shut the book up on the also, the idea of tear on your cheek, it represents this idea of crying, and the crying doesn't stop. Right? The tears there's different kinds of losses. There's the loss of the childhood, but then it is forward, and then there are other losses that sometimes paralyze us. Because yes, we don't saw that the other tears on the cheek represents the second type of loss, where the loss is almost like immobilizing. The tear is always there. What type of loss is that? Like a woman who loses the husband of homeless, the Mitsuya Dinasa. The woman who loses the husband that her youth back from that she married, the person she intended on building from like this. So she loses that like partner, is almost like an inconsolable loss back there. That's how the Prophet described the loss of Yerushalayim. Incredible. Shneimar, like Eli Kibsulach Al-Yurachsach Al-Ba'al Mu'ulal. Al-Yitzar Al-Rosh. So we're going to get our enemies become like believers. And we recognize Karamitza and Yisrael Master. If you cause problems to Klal Yisrael, you are catapulted to greatness. This is the interesting idea. The more you oppress, and the more you hate Klal Yisrael, you need a leader. You need a leader. Shneimar, Kilo Mu'at Lashem Yisrach Lach Yisrael. Asel Arz is ruling the Arz and Asel the Akhel Mitzvah B'Chayam. Galio Hakali. So that's an interesting idea. That essentially, in order to hurt Klal Yisrael, you have to have a position of prominence. This person doesn't deliver us into the hands of a no one. And therefore, someone's going to oppress us. By definition, they're going to be given a position of exalted leadership. The ability of whoever causes problems for Klal Yisrael never tires. So this almost like this way where people have boundless energy in order to be able to afflict their people. Well, they can call over Dara, on the upper, on the Yerushalayim, you can't improve on the Yerushalayim. What's this? Interestingly enough, well, they can call over Dara is almost like saying these colors should not be forced. So the Gemara says, the way you see Kulbunam in the Torah, what's Kulbunam? Rashi identifies that Kulbunam is the expression that meant that sometimes when something bad happened, the person will say, you should never experience this type of misfortune. That's called Kulbunam. That's the concept of saying, well, from over there, what's happened to us shouldn't happen to anyone else. It's supposed to watch lines, call over there, on the bottom, on the left, and to over all dust. The usage is still, it's interesting process, so the response to the